Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So the new Magic the Gathering set is coming out, Edge of Eternities, and I'm here as usual to do my first impressions and so-called limited set review. Now, limited set review, I'm not going to rate the cards, not going to rank them, but we're going to discuss them from the limited play perspective. That's what we're doing as usual. I haven't looked at the spoilers, so I haven't looked at the cards. This is all going to be new for me, and I'm happy to share my thoughts with you, to discuss with you all of the new mechanics and whatnot. So, first of all, we're going to start with Draft Archetypes. This is what you see now on screen. Then we're going to move on to the Signpost Uncommons, and of course we're going to discuss every single card of this new set. So I'm going to read a card and then we're going to talk about it. Also, meanwhile, I have this little puppy here, Final Fantasy Collector Booster Display. So I'm going to crack a pack or two for your pleasure. So stay tuned for that. Also, I need to fix the lighting. I'm sorry. Like, the weather today is kind of crazy. Like, the sun comes out and then comes down. But let's just begin. Let's talk through the archetypes. So, Azorius is called second spell. Cast your second spell in a turn and earn additional bonuses to overwhelm your opponent. Okay, so Azorius in this set is going to be not your usual aggro, or will it be? I have to see it again. I haven't seen the cards. It's going to be interesting. Dimir, blue-black, is called Artifact Control. Assemble an artifact-based deck to grind out your opponent's resources turn by turn. Pretty standard, right? Dimir is usually a control archetype. This has a slight twist with artifact. Moving on to Ragdas, black-red. It is called Void. Use the Void mechanic at the cost of creatures and artifacts, then trigger devastating events. Hold on, I haven't checked out the mechanics. We have to talk about them as well. Hold on. Mechanics. We're going to talk about them, of course. So this there are several new mechanics. We'll talk about them in a bit. So Gruul, Lenders and Landfall. Another landfall archetype, so same as in Final Fantasy, I would assume. Use lander tokens and landfall to create mana advantage. Landers can help to trigger landfall more easily. Nice. Selesnya, +1/+1 counters. Classic, right? Boost your entire army with +1/+1 counters. Another go wide strategy. Oh, speaking of go wide, it is literally called go wide. Orzhov, assemble the largest battlefield in the system and conquer your opponents with sheer numbers. PZ is called Artifact Aggro. Play cheap artifacts you've uncovered on your travels to quickly overpower the field with supreme synergies. It looks promising. Sounds good. Next up is Golgari, Graveyard. Again, pretty standard, pretty classic to these color combination. Salvage long-forgotten ships and fallen warriors with a graveyard strategy that keeps you coming back. Boras is called Space Stations. Station your spacecraft by tapping creatures, then reap the rewards of your dedicated crew. Okay, so I guess we're gonna see vehicles, right? And last but not least, Simic. Just it's simply called Ramp because it is what it is, and it is what it's usually been, right? Explore Sothera's furthest regions and worlds by controlling the largest monsters and ships in the system. Okay, this sounds interesting. Alright, so let's talk about the mechanics first before we move on to the Signpost Uncommons. I'm gonna just put myself here. All right. Again, I'm sorry, I haven't looked at the cards. I haven't checked it out beforehand, but this way you can truly see my first impressions as they are. So I want to stay true to that concept. All right, so spacecraft and station. Here is the new thing, I guess. What does it mean? So spacecraft, as you can see, a new artifact type, I would say, right? So spacecraft represent the various warships, freighters, cruisers, and other space-worthy vessels. Okay. All right. What does it do? So, okay, each spacecraft starts out as an artifact, but most can become artifact creatures with the help of some intermediate explorers. How to do so? You'll need the new station ability. So as you can see, here is a 2 mana 2/2 spacecraft, but what does it mean for plus flying? So it can become a creature, right? Okay. Station is an activated ability that can be activated only as a sorcery, meaning during your main phase when the stack is empty. Okay, to activate the station ability, tap an untapped creature you control other than the spacecraft itself. Okay, this can be any other untapped creature, sure. And as that ability resolves, put a number of charge counters equal to that creature's power on the spacecraft. Okay. And once the spacecraft has a number of charge counters on it equal to or greater than the number indicated on the circle on the left, so here 4+, for example, right? It becomes a creature with the power and toughness indicated on the right side. Okay, 2/2. So before, all right, got it. So it's not a creature; it's just an artifact. It may become a creature if you tap out another creature with power, like, I don't know, 4 or more for it to become a creature instantly. All right. Then once the spacecraft has a number of charge counters on it equal to or greater than the number indicated. Yeah, already read that. Okay, sure. Okay, I guess that's clear. Spacecraft, something new. Commander, we don't need that. Okay, planet, land, planet is a new non-basic land type. Planet doesn't have any rules or functionary tied to it, but the planets we encounter here all happen to have stations, so let's see one. Okay, here we have it, right? 12+. Just like a spacecraft that doesn't become an artifact creature, these planets don't become creatures. However, once you've activated Uthra's station ability enough to get 12 or more charge counters on it, it will have its final ability, which is 4 blue mana. Tap add 1 blue mana for each artifact you control. So this looks like fun. Okay, another new mechanic is called warp. Warp represents an alternative cost. Yeah, as we can see here, if you cast a card with warp from your hand, you may choose to pay its warp cost rather than its mana cost. Okay, and as we can see, it is cheaper than the standard mana cost. Then what does it do? If you do, you'll exile the permanent. It becomes at the beginning of the next end step. It then becomes a warped card. Warp is mostly found on creatures, but it can appear on any permanent card because permanents with warp are only around for a short while. At least the first time, yes. They'll usually have abilities that will make their brief appearance useful. So I would assume a lot of ETBs. Those might be enters, abilities, sure. Alright, because warp is only usable from your hand, you won't be able to pay the warp cost again when you cast the card from exile. Some cards care about whether a spell was warped this turn. This means that a spell was cast by paying its warp cost. It doesn't matter whether that spell resolved, and it doesn't matter cast the spell. Okay, remember that a spell's mana value is determined only by its mana cost. Makes sense? So even if you cast Starfield Shepherd for its warp cost, its mana value remains 5. Makes sense. Another new mechanic is called Void. Here is an example. So Void abilities can take many forms. On instant and sorceries, Void may provide an alternative effect indicated by the word instead. Void may also provide an additional effect, adding to what the spell normally does rather than replacing it. So for example here, target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn, and Void, that creature gets -10/-10 until end of turn. Instead, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped this turn. Oh, nice. Listen, alrighty. This looks very cool. Lender tokens. We've mentioned them when we saw Archetypes. So here it is, Lender. What does it do? For 2 mana and tap, sacrifice this token, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Nice. And this creature, when it enters, you create a Lender token. Nice. Okay. So not only it is relevant for the artifact strategy, like, yeah, of course, you can trigger your landfall anytime you want. Perfect. And I guess this is it for new mechanics. Okay, it looks pretty cool. It looks like there's going to be a lot of synergy, or at least, you know, just based on these first impressions. Alright, so next up, let's move on to our Signpost Uncommons. And yeah, here as you can see, we start with Azorius, which is called a second spell. So, where are you? Hold on. Where's our golden Azorius card? Here, I can see this. Signpost Uncommons, where are the Signpost Uncommons for Azorius? Am I missing something? Anyway, so the second spell, you cast a churn, cost 2 less to cast. I don't know. Okay, I'm just put it on hold, Azorius. Let's move on to Dimir, which is called Artifact Control. Here we have Alfariel, Dreaming Acolyte. For 3 mana, legendary creature, 2/3. When it enters, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an artifact card, and during your turn it has Death Touch. Okay, so clear artifact synergy, and yeah, pretty standard things for Dimir. Now, black, red, void. So I guess this void mechanic is going to be represented the most in these colors, but we shall see about that. So Interceptor Mechan for 4 mana to 2 flying. When it enters, return target artifact or creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And for Void, what does it do? At the beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped this turn, put +1/+1 counter on this creature. Oh, nice. So this is like static ability almost that you can trigger every turn, right? This Void. Nice. Okay, moving on to Gruul, Tanuk, Memorial, Ensign. For 3 mana, we have a creature 2/4 with landfall, of course. Whenever a land you control enters, Tanuk deals 1 damage to each opponent. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, draw a card. Zen. I like it. This is a great payoff for those landfall triggers. Nice. And of course this card, Galactic Wayfarer, already I think that it's going to be a pretty high pick, and Look, it is common. Nice. Selesnya, Halia, Ascendant Cadet. So for 5 mana, we have a creature 3/3. Whenever it enters or attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever one or more creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them deal combat damage to player, draw a card. 5 mana. I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah. Like, here, I'm a little skeptical. I think that it will need a lot of support, but okay. Orzhov, white, black, go white. Sir Bondem the Lucent for 5 mana. We have a creature 4/4, Death Touch, lifelink. Okay, already better. Whenever it enters or attacks, other creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain Death Touch until end of turn. Okay, like this ability totally makes sense, even though it costs 5 mana. I guess it's fine. Also, like maybe it means again that the set is not going to be very fast, which is a good indicator. But listen, I literally just seen this card, so I don't know. Again, just based on my experience, and those are my first impressions. Moving on to Izet Menon, Thirst Exile for a 3 mana creature, 1/3 with flying. Whenever an artifact you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Okay, yes, I can see that. Right, your artifact synergy, Bulgari, Sidship Brute Tender, 2/3 creature. When it enters, mill 3 cards. Alrighty, nice. And it has an activated ability for 5 mana. Sacrifice this creature, return target creature or spacecraft card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activated on this sorcerer. Nice. I mean, for 2 mana, you have a solid creature 2/3 with an activated ability. ETB is going to be relevant, of course, for this archetype. What not to like? Boris, red-white space stations. Okay, now space stations make sense to me. Sammy, Ship's Engineer for 4 mana. We have a creature 2/4 at the beginning of your end step. If you control 2 or more tapped creatures, create a tapped 2/2 colorless rowboat artifact creature token. Alright. Yeah, okay, so I was thinking about vehicles, but here we have another thing going, spacecraft, but you also need to tap your creatures for that. Now, it makes sense, I like it. Okay, I like this energy. And finally, Simic, green-blue ramp, Biomechan Engineer for 2 mana. We have a creature 2/2. When it enters, create a lender token, and for 8 mana, draw 2 cards and create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. Nice, great. Honestly, yeah, love it. All right, here we have our Signpost Uncommons, and now we can move on to the set review. All right, so the first card is All Fates Stalker. For 4 mana, we have a creature 2/3. When this creature enters, exile up to 1 target non-assassin creature until this creature leaves the battlefield. And it has this new mechanic, this alternative cost, which is called Warp. So for 2 mana, you may cast this card from your hand for its Warp cost. Exile this creature at the beginning of the next end step. So I guess for 2, you exile target non-assassin creature, then it comes back because this creature is going to be exiled, right? But then you may cast it again from exile on a later turn. So not necessarily next turn, like whenever you want. Which is pretty cool, you know? It gives certain flexibility, definitely. So I quite like it. I quite like cards like this. So even though it costs 4 mana, this warp cost makes it definitely more playable and more flexible. yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious to see how it all works out, but I think it's good, and like the effect is pretty powerful, of course. Also, you may like for the warp cost, you may target your own creature, for example, if it has a certain ETB ability, and then you cast it from exile and exile your opponent's creature. Stuff like that. Okay, this is good. It's good to me. Next up is a rare Asteli Reclaimer for 5 mana. We have a creature 5/4 with flying. When it enters, return target non-creature, non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this creature. Okay, it has this, again, alternative cost of 3, or should I just say that it has warp 3. Now, speaking of rares and mythics, like the bar of rating them is higher, I would say, because of course the rarity, right? You're not gonna see these cards very often in your 3 packs when you draft, for example. So what do we say? Like, first pick or not? This is the question that always comes to the rares and mythics. I think that, yeah, it is pretty solid. The effect is definitely very cool. So if you cast it on your turn 3, which is, I don't know, still pretty early, I feel like this is definitely more suitable for the mid to late game. So for 3 mana, you can bring back your, I don't know, 2/3 drop, which is pretty cool, honestly. And then you may cast it again from the exile and bring back something more solid, like 5 or less. Yeah, something with mana value 5 or less. I like it. Honestly, like, what's not to like? This flexibility that warp gives, and also value. It's pretty insane, no? I love it. Looks like a very well-rounded rare to me. Next up, auxiliary boosters, 5 mana artifact equipment. When it enters, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token and attach this equipment to it. Okay, so we may see some similarities to the previous set. Those hero tokens, here we have robo tokens and equipments as well. Anyway, equipped creature gets +1/+2 and has flying, and equip cost is 3. Ooh, listen, so for 5 mana we get what? 3/4 flyer? Is it good enough? Like, it looks like a filler. I mean, in the late game, of course, being it an equipment that gives evasion, maybe pretty solid, but as I would say that it's like mediocre, like medium slash filler, but we shall see about it. But again, just based on my first impressions. Ooh, Vanishing Light, let's go. Premium removal for 3 mana enchantment. When it enters, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Perfect, great. Of course, if you're in white, you want to have interaction, you want to have removal, and it is a premium one. Next up is a rare Beyond the Quiet for 5 mana with a sorcery, exile all creatures and spacecraft. It's a sweeper. It's a sweeper. Sweepers are good, honestly, in any deck. It's just, even if you're drafting a very aggro deck, like me personally, I don't mind picking up something like that and playing it, because you never know. Sometimes you're just playing from behind, or you need to just clear the board and start over because, I don't know, your opponent has something overwhelming. But I don't know, if you're playing limited, you know what I mean. Of course, it is the first pick. And next up, Brightspear Zealot for 3 mana, creature 2/4 with vigilance. This creature gets +2/+0 as long as you've cast 2 or more spells this turn. Okay, so here comes our Azorius theme, Azorius archetype. Here we have some value from casting this 2 spells per turn. Is it like good enough though? So Azorius, is it gonna be a control archetype? Because just look at the design of the card. So for 3 mana we have a creature 2/4 vigilance, which is pretty defensive, right? At the same time, you know, it can attack. So you cast 2 or more spells. Your turn you attack for 4, and then I don't know. Just if you're like not casting anything, there is also this threat of activation, because you can cast 2 turns on your opponent's turn and may suddenly become a 4/4 and not 2/4. Pretty interesting. Crystal X89, thank you so much for your follow. Aw, thank you. Thank you for your support. All right. Yeah, I'm curious. Again, it looks like a more of a defensive design to me. Next up, and it's a mythic Cosmic Grand Zenith for 3 mana, 2/4 creature. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, choose one. Create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens, or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Okay, so it is a mythic, but honestly, I would of course first pick it and just build around it. It requires some work. I don't know, like all of this double spelling each turn, it looks more difficult to put together than, I don't know, some other synergies or mechanics. But yeah, this may be pretty cool in limited, but now that I'm looking at it more, it looks like maybe more of a constructed design. Still new to Magic, Marines, so just tuning, but I've tried tabletop many years ago and in the recent 1-2 years. Oh, that's cool, of course. Well, happy to have you here. Salty Conquibor, thank you so much for your follow. Hello there. So today we're just, you know, chatting, talking about the cards. Like my thing is that I don't look at the cards beforehand, so I haven't looked at the spoiler. I'm reading the cards for the first time. I'm looking at them for the first time, and then just talking about them from the limited play perspective. That's what we're doing today, and like I always love doing these streams because I love to interact with chat with you all and get to know your perspective as well, because you know sometimes it's not very evident when I'm looking at the card, especially for the first time, and I'm not completely understand it, but then you help me, and you know it's cool. Also, just a quick reminder, now that we're like 35 minutes and I have this little puppy here, so stay tuned. Maybe after the blue color, I'm going to crack 1 pack and then 1 in the end of this stream. So I have like this Final Fantasy collector booster display, which is going to be fun. All right. Next up, Dawn Strike Vanguard for 6 mana. We'll have a 4/5 lifelink creature at the beginning of your end step. If you control 2 or more tapped creatures, put +1/+1 counter on each creature you control other than this creature. Okay, so this looks like it is supposed to be a top end finisher in Boris deck. Oh, thank you. Well, you'll have to witness that. We're gonna do it together. It's like 6 mana. It's a little bit disturbing, but then again, maybe just hence that this set is designed to be like slower. And I like this tendency, honestly, like the slow paced or the slower paced limited formats are always better. So yeah, I don't know how else to really rate this card. Yeah, just top end for your board synergy. If you have a lot of this spacecrafts, then yeah, sure, because on its own, like 5/4 for 6 mana lifelink, it's probably not good enough. You really want to use the best of it. Of course, you want to trigger that ability. Next up is Dock Worker Drones. For 2 mana, we have a 1/1 artifact creature. This creature enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. When it dies, put its counters on target creature you control. Okay, this looks like a great expandable 2-drop, so it's gonna fit Orzhov. I would assume it's gonna fit honestly like a lot, being it an artifact. I'm not sure about Azores, but I guess fine. Mostly Selesnya because of this +1/+1 counter synergy. We'll have to see. All in all, I really like it. So it's an artifact. It has this counters some sort of synergy, I don't know, with other cards potentially. Yeah, it's your 2-drop. Great. Next up, Dual Sun Adepts. For 3 mana, we have a 2/2 creature double strike. For 5 mana, creatures you control get +1/+1 counter. Sorry, not counter, just +1/+1 boost until end of turn. I guess it's okay. No, yeah. For 3 mana to 2 double strike. And it's a mana tinker. It's okay, I would say. Not a very high pick. I think you can pick it up pretty late. Or like... yeah. But it isn't a common. It's not a common. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of cards like this, but at the same time, if you combine it with maybe other equipments or I don't know, something, double strike may be actually pretty nasty. So yeah. Next up is Dual Sun Technique. For 2 mana instant, target creature you control gains double strike until end turn. If it has a +1/+1 counter on it, draw a card. Nice. I really like the second part of the spell, not so much the first one. So yeah, I guess they're trying to make this +1/+1 counter synergy wall, or I don't know, if you do have a lot of this situation going on, if you like really have creatures with counters on them, then yeah, sure, it's fine. It may be a good combat trick, but it is a combat trick nonetheless. Next up, Emergency Eject. For 3 mana instant, destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a lander token. It is a removal for literally anything. Nice. Yeah, like a slight drawback, the slender token. Where was it? It was an... oh my god. Oh, what was it? Eldraine. Like the last Eldraine. Do you remember this card? Also like for 3 mana instant, and like you would give your opponent a 1/1 human token, something like this. Like this reminds me of that. I guess it's okay, but to be fair, like how much is gonna matter, the slender token? I mean, it's not the same as a creature on board, of course. But yeah, it is a removal still. Stroke of Midnight, exactly. Thank you so much. Right. I'm so bad with card names. Next up, Exalted Sunborn. It's a mythic 5 mana, 4/5 flying lifelink. Alrighty. Not bad. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. And it has warp 2. So for limited, I'm not sure how this warp cost is going to matter, but all in all, like just look at that, 5 mana, 4/5 lifelink. Great. And I'm kind of sad that it's mythic. It's not even a rare, but of course it's a first pick. I'm just a little bit bummed that this warp cost, like, you're not going to get the max value out of it, I would say, because I don't know, just at the same time it's going to depend on your deck, of course. It's going to be good in any white deck, but in particular if you have this token generating something going on. Yeah, it is beautiful, of course, like, very good card for limited, maybe more so for constructed. Next up, Execute Savior. For 3 mana, we have a creature 2/2 with flying. When it enters, return up to 1 other target permanent you control to its owner's hand. It doesn't have flash. It doesn't have flash. Why it doesn't have flash? It would be this dog. But it is a flyer, and I guess it kind of makes sense because a lot of creatures have ETBs. So yeah, maybe I wouldn't want to cast it on my turn 3. Oh, hold on. Fairy Permit. You may return actually a land. Yeah, it's not like you may. You have to return. You may return a land or something. No, it's okay. I think like you can figure it out, like the synergy wise. But if nothing else, yeah, it's kind of underwhelming. So yeah, it's like, let's say, in the medium ranks. Next up, Flight Deck Coordinator. For 3 mana, 3/3 creature, 3/3 4/3. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, you gain 2 life. Again, this spaceship, what was it? Synergy is quite clear, but is it like good enough? Just 2 life? I don't know. I guess it is like a filler category more so. Focus Fire. For 1 mana instant, it deals X damage to target attacking or blocking creature, where X is 2 plus the number of creatures and or spacecraft you control. Oh, this is good. It's quite cheap. So baseline, it deals 2 damage, but of course the ceiling is high. It's okay. It's quite specific. It is situational, but it just costs 1 mana, so it's fine. Tapping down leaves you vulnerable to, which can be rough. That's true. That's true. So yeah, we have to see about that archetype. But at the same time, you know, when you tap out for spacecraft becomes creature. So maybe it's worth it. Next up is a rare Halia, Guided by Light. For 3 mana, 3/3. When Halia or another creature or artifact you control enters, you gain 1 life. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card if you've gained 3 or more life this turn, and it has warp cost of 1. Pretty neat. Okay, now I'm thinking, is there finally this hidden life gain archetype? I'm curious. But yeah, all in all, of course, why not? This is a great payoff for that life gain. I mean, you don't really need anything additional. You just need to have a lot of cheap creatures, a lot of artifacts for it to trigger, right? Yeah, why not? This soldier. Yeah, it is. No, it's good. I would first pick it. It's not like a bomby bomb, but it's a solid rare. Another rare is Hard Light Containment. For 1 mana enchantment aura. Enchant artifact you control. When it enters, exile target creature an opponent controls until this aura leaves the battlefield. And enchanted permanent has worth 1. Ooh, so this is a nice removal spell, but it's in a rare slot. And imagine if you don't have artifact, so it is conditional. You need to have an artifact. Man. Honestly, this looks more like a constructed design to me. Just straight up constructed design. I mean, it is playable, but it is a rare slot, so would you first pick it, really? Unless there is nothing better, right? But it's kind of underwhelming. Because it is a removal and it is a build around. So. Next up, Honor. For 1 mana sorcery, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, draw a card. Okay, this looks like a fun cantrip if you need it. This may be good, and this is Azorius, actually. Because it's a cheap spell, so you need to cast 2 spells or more each turn. Why not? Also, Selesnya, +1/+1 counter synergy. Yeah, I quite like it. Honored Knight Captain for 2 mana, creature 1/1. When it enters, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. And for 6 mana, sacrifice this creature, search your library for an equipment card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Oh, so this is a great to drop. This is a great to drop through and through. So, for 2 mana, you get a 2 power total, 2 bodies on the battlefield. And great, fits perfectly go white strategy, and honestly it's just going to be good. Plus in any white deck, or now that I'm thinking, I would say that in any white deck, really. Like the activate ability is maybe not very relevant, but sure, why not? It's a good to drop, certainly. Next up, Night Luminary. For 4 mana, we have a 3/2 creature. When it enters, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token, and it has warp 2, which means that you just cast it for the warp cost. Let's say on your turn 2, you create a token, and then like later on, you just cast for the cost from exile and do it all again. Perfect, great. Again, fits this go white strategy very nicely. I like it. Honestly, the more I'm looking at this work cards, the more I like it. Like the flexibility, the value that it gives it's kind of insane. Very nice. Yeah, I really like it too. Next up, Lightstall Inquisitor. For 1 mana, we have a rare 2/1 Vigilance. When it enters, each opponent exiles a card from their hand and may play the card for as long as it remains exiled. Each spell cast this way costs 1 more to cast. Each land played this way enters tapped. Oh. To be fair, I don't know how like really it's going to be how this ability is like relevant to the limited gameplay. Really, again, this looks like more of a constructed design, but it's a 2/1 for 1 mana. On the downside, it is a rare. It is in a rare slot. It's not like uncommon, let's say, right? I don't know, a little bit underwhelming for a rare and limited, to be honest. But yeah, quite sure. Next up, Lumen Class Brigade for 2 mana. Finally, this is our first spacecraft. It is a rare. So, what does it do? So, for 2 mana, you cast it. Station. So, if you tap... How many creatures? No. It has to be just 1 creature. It's not like a Convoke. It's more like Harmonize, right? So, if there is 2 or more charge counters, other creatures you control get +1/+1. Okay. So instantly, it's like an anthem, which is nice. You know, you cast it, you may even trigger it straight away. Yeah. And if it has 12 or more, it has flying and lifelink. That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. That first station ability helps get the second one quicker. That's true. But am I right about this whole situation? It works more like Harmonize and not like Convoke, right? You cannot tap like your whole board to put all of the 12 counters on it straight away. It has to be just one, right? Tap another creature, not like creatures. So it may take a while. Maybe not. Like, you see, like, this is the beauty of this first impressions, that like, you don't see how it's gonna work out eventually. So like, first look, maybe like kind of slow, right? Maybe even awkward, but then who knows. So being it a rare, I mean, Anthem is always good. Anthem has always been good in Limited. It requires some work. Same time, if you can have additional synergy out of it, like something like another creature that says that requires, so to speak, something to happen when you have a certain amount of tapped creatures. Sure. Like, if you open it, would you first pick it? This is like the main question when it comes to rares. I think I might, and then try to build around it. Next up, Lux Knight Breacher. For 4 mana, we have a 2/2. This creature enters with +1/+1 counter on it for each other creature and for artifact you control. So, this is not a universally good card, right? This is going to fit more this Selesnya or Orzhov strategy, where you need to have like a significant board presence, like this go wide strategies. Then I guess sure, fine, but then I don't like cards like that, because imagine you're playing from behind, you are drawn this card and it's just 2/2/4/4. Like, this is just as bad as it gets. But if it works out, then sure. So I would say it's more like a filler. Next up, Pinnacle Star Cage. For 3 mana artifact, it's another rare. When it enters, exile all artifacts and creatures with mana value 2 or less until this artifact leaves the battlefield. Ooh, this is already, this is a constructed card. It's like a new temporary lockdown, no? Sort of. And it has an activate ability for 8 mana. Put each card exiled with this artifact into its owner's graveyard. Then create a 2/2 colorless row with artifact creature token for each card put into a graveyard this way. Sacrifice this artifact. Ooh. Honestly, it's not really for limited. Yeah, it is a straight up constructed design. So, yeah, I would pass on that, probably. Moving on. Pulsar Squadron Ace. For 2 mana, we have a creature 1/2. When it enters, oh my god, it's a lot of text. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a spacecraft card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If you didn't put a card into your hand this way, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. I guess it's fine. Of course, you would want to have this value out of it. So it's not a universal to drop, I would say. Like, sure, you can put it in any deck, even if you don't have a lot of spacecraft. So basically it is your 2/3 for 2 mana, which might be okay, especially if you care about this +1/+1 counter synergy. But if you do have this spacecraft synergy, it's also good. So I guess it's like either Selesnya or Horus, right? And also, like, the question is, how many spacecraft do you need to have in your deck for it to work? Like, just like on the first side, I would say like about 8. Like, you have to have a lot for it to work, to be honest. Top 5, yeah, something like that. Anyway, moving on. Next up, Radiant Strike for 4 mana. We have instant destroy target artifact or tapped creature, you gain 3 life. Not the best removal, but it is a removal still, so more of a control vibes. Because when you're playing aggro, you're always tapped out. Like, you don't have really time to sit on that 4 mana. That's like the thing. Anyway, next up, Rayblade Trooper for 3 mana. We have a 2/2 creature. When it enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So you may even put counters on it itself. Then, whenever a non-talking creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, create a create a 1/1 white human sculptor creature token, and it has warp 2. Nice. So, for the warp cost, you may just boost a creature already. It's not bad, honestly. And then, yeah, I like it. I like the design of this card. I think it's just pure value through and through. But at the same time, you need to have this synergy. You have to have a board presence. But yes, so far, so good. It looks good. So again, this maybe go white or Selesnya. This is where it's going to shine the best. But I would say the worst too. Honestly, Azorius, it does count, right? It does count as a spell. You just cast it for this alternative cost. So maybe, because it's cheap, maybe you will be able to trigger that double spell as well. Yeah, interesting. Next up, Reroute Systems for 1 mana instant. Target artifact or creature gains indestructible until end of turn, or it deals 2 damage to target tapped creature. Honestly, I'm not a fan of cards like this, but yeah, just 2 damage is maybe not enough. I don't know. And as a combat trick, I don't think that it is good enough, so I don't know. I don't like it, to be fair. Next up, Rescue Skiff for 6 mana. We have Spacecraft. When it enters, return target creature or enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, let's go. Reanimation Station. And if it has 10 or more counters, it becomes a 5/6 creature with flying. Honestly, not bad as a top end. So for 6 mana, you cast it, you reanimate something. And then, I don't know, the question is how easy it's going to get there, right? So yeah, we'll just stay there, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know how to correctly rate these cards. Honestly, it's just gonna depend on the speed of the format. And I'm very curious to test it all out during the early access event. Next up, Scout for Survivors for 3 mana sorcery. Return up to 3 target creature cards with total mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. Ooh. Honestly, in limited, again, I'm not the biggest fan of cards like this. because they're just so situational. And I don't know, if you do have a very low curve deck, if you do have like a lot of cheap creatures, then maybe it's okay to play something bad. Also, if you care about this +1/+1 synergy, but other than that, well, it's a pass. Next up, Sea Reap. Oh, this art, Sam Gray. Love it. So for 1 mana enchantment, when this enchantment enters, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value 2 or less until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. So, like a horrible hole, right? Sure. Next up is a rare, the Serima. Hope I'm pronounced it correctly. For 3 mana. Legendary artifact, Spacecraft. When it enters, search your library for a legendary creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And if it has 7 or more counters, it becomes a 5/5 creature with flying and a static ability of other tapped legendary creatures you control have indestructible. Ooh. I'm not sure how it is relevant to the limited play, to be honest. Again, it looks like another constructed, designed rare card. Or constructed. Like, I'm not sure how. Like, maybe. Maybe you happen to have a legendary creature or a couple of them, because actually we've seen some, right? Maybe even for limited it's going to be fine. Then 7 counters, this is quite manageable. If you need an artifact, maybe it's gonna matter. And I mean, in certain archetypes it certainly will matter. So would you first pick it? The main question remains, would you first pick it? I'm not so sure, to be honest. I don't know if I'm, like, if it's my first pack, I may just pass on it. Not gonna lie, but this is my first impressions. We shall see about the rest. Next up, Squire's Lightblade. For 1 mana, we have artifact equipment with flash. When it enters, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gains first strike until end of turn. Equipped creature gets +1/+0. Equip cost is 3. So, again, this is basically your combat trick, except, of course, it has a permanent and it's gonna stay in the game. All in all, I wouldn't play it unless I have this artifact synergy. Because just, you know, +1/+0 first strike is not good enough for a combat trick. But again, if you do have this artifact synergy, then sure. If you need to have a lot of artifacts, or, you know, double spelling, like hello, it's a cheap spell. So yeah, like you have to see, I guess. Next up, Starfield Shepherd, 5 mana, 3/2 flying. When this creature enters, search your library for a basic plains card or a creature card with mana value 1 or less. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And it has Warp 2. Let's go. This is so good. Like, now we're talking. This may be, if not the best, but certainly up there, one of the best warp permanents, warp creatures that we've seen so far. It's so good. So yeah, even like for 2 mana, you just find that plains or a creature if you need it, right? And then play it from exile. Oh, so good. Just chef's kiss. I like it. I like it a lot. Next up, Starfighter Pilot for 2 mana, 2/2. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, reveal 1. You know, it's basic to drop. It's fine. You're gonna need 2 drops. No, it's fine. like when it attacks, you're gonna surveil, and later on, if you need to tap it for your spacecraft, also you're going to surveil. Now it's okay. It's a fine to drop. Next up, Starport Security for 1 mana, 1/1 artifact creature. It has an activate ability for 4 and tap. Tap another target creature. This ability costs 2 glass to activate if you control a creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. So if you have a creature with a counter on it, you're going to pay just 2 mana. I think you would want to play something like that. Either in Azorius, because it's a cheap spell, so you can trigger all that double spell in each turn. If you have artifact synergy, it's also fine. So I guess, like, if you really need it, you can include it in your deck, of course, but it's not here as good. It's just 1/1 for 1 mana. Yeah, it is a tapper potentially, like, later on, but yeah, like, this ability is not what makes this card playable, I would say. It is the overall synergy of your deck, really. But yeah, it's fine, it's okay. Next up, did we just hold on? I'm gonna come back to the playlist. All right, Sunstar Chaplain for 2 mana. It is a rare. We have a creature 3/2. At the beginning of your end's tap, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. And for 2 mana, remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control. Tap target artifact or creature. Ooh. So, again, it is a rare. Would you first pick it? If there's nothing better, I guess it's fine to first pick it, because, like, yeah, it's pretty solid as is, and like later in the game, it also may be useful for those spacecrafts and whatnot. This ability to, I don't know, just again, the matter of how easy it's going to be put together these archetypes, you know, and also how powerful are they going to be. It's just like to be determined. But to be fair, like, let's go Convoke. No. Another, like, speaking of constructed a little bit. Next up, Sunstar Expansionist for 2 mana. We have a creature 2/3. Already, I quite like the stats for 2 mana creature. When it enters, if an opponent controls more land than you, create a lender token. And it has landfall. Whenever land you control enters, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Listen, what's not to like? This is like a very good to drop. Love it. Yeah, very good. Next up, Sunstar Lightsmith for 4 mana. We have a 3/3 creature. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature and draw a card. This is a nice payoff. So anything that draws you a card is a good payoff, right? Honestly, not bad. But again, the question is how easy it's going to put it all together, right? Next up, Wedgelight Remmer, 4 mana, spacecraft. When it enters, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token station. Yeah, if it has 9+ counters, it becomes a creature 3/4 with flying and first strike. I like it. I like it just because it comes with a body, with a token. Also, we've seen this mythic that works, that doubles the amount of tokens, but you know, we probably shouldn't be thinking about the synergy, the interaction with rares and mythic, but mostly with commons and uncommons. Anyway, through and through, yeah, I guess it's fine. It looks pretty solid. Again, it's an artifact. I love this. It comes with the body. Good. Next up, Webbed Blade Enhancer for 6 mana. We have a 3/4 creature. When it enters with a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. And it has Warp 3. Okay, so I guess you want to include it in your deck if you're playing Silesia, or if you have some pickups on this +1/+1 counter synergy. Other than that, I don't think that it's very good. But, like, honestly, warp. If a creature has warp cost in it, like, it's worth considering playing it, I would say, because it just gives value. But stuff like that, it's just, yeah, if we compare it to other warp effects, it's not as good. And also, it is just a 6 mana creature, 3/4. But anyway, next up, Zealous Display, and it's the last white card. For 3 mana, we have instant creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. If it's not your turn, untap those creatures. Okay, nice. So I think you want to play something like that if you really go wide, if you do have this strategy, if you do have a lot of small creatures, and yeah, sure. And it's just 3 mana. It's not even 4 as it used to be, right? That's good. Alright, let's move on to the blue color, and first card is Null Reprint. Very excited, honestly, for Constructed, I think. For 1 mana instant, counter target artifact or enchantment spell. And if we talk about limited, of course, already we've seen there's going to be a lot of artifacts and enchantments, like even in white. There were a lot of them. So I'm not sure about main decking it, but it is certainly a good sideboard card. Next up, Atomic Microsizer. For 1 mana artifact equipment, equipped creature gets +1/+0. Whenever equipped creature attacks, choose up to 1 target creature. That creature can be blocked this turn and has base power and toughness 1/1 until end of turn. Equip cost is 2. I don't know. Again, being it a cheap artifact, maybe it's gonna be okay for this Azorius double spell archetype. I'm not sure, but at the same time, like the base power and toughness 1/1 is a little bit concerning, I know. What do we think about this card? This is honestly one of those cards that are not so obvious. I know, it just looks, it's not good enough. But at the same time, maybe synergy is gonna matter more. That's true, actually. You can shrink opponent's best blocker. That's true. I haven't thought about it. I don't know. It's just equipped creature gets +1/+0. This is 2. But maybe you're right. Honestly, maybe yeah. Maybe you'll just make your opponent's creature small, and then you have a nice attack. But yeah, okay. It's like another of those TBD moments, right? We have to play to actually see how it performs in terms of archetypes. Next up, Cerebral download for 5 mana instant. Surveil X, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Then draw 3 cards. Imagine. But then it's a 5 mana. I don't know if you cast it at the same time. If you're control deck, maybe it's fine. Just cast it the end of your opponent's turn. So this looks like a straight up Dimir card to me, right? Especially based on the archetype description. Yeah. This might be something for sure. Cloud Sculpt Technician for 3 mana. We have a 1/4 creature with flying. As long as you control an artifact, this creature gets +1/+0. For a defensive archetype for a control deck, maybe it's fine. Just because of the stats, you know, it has flying too. Other than that, yeah, it's mediocre. Maybe I'm wrong. But like first impressions that, yeah, it is definitely very defensive. Next up, Code Cracker Hound for 3 mana 2/1 creature. When it enters, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one into your hand and the other into your graveyard. It also has the warp cost of 3, so yeah, you don't want to cast a 3 mana 2/1 creature, right? So you're going to cast it for the warp cost first, and then so this is just, you know, what it is in my mind. It is your value generating spell, and then just maybe an expandable body or something. Next up, consult the star charts for 2 mana instant. It is a rare. Picker 2. And look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of lands you control. Put one of those cards into your hand. If the spell was kicked, put 2 of those cards into your hand instead. The rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Pretty neat, honestly. Oh, again, I can see how it's gonna be played and constructed, but honestly, even for limited, it's fine. However, for limited, it is an underwhelming rare. Competition for stock up for sure. Yeah, I think, yes, more of those control decks are going to emerge. Just got control. He's going to have a second birth. Rebirth, I don't know. Especially after rotation that's coming up. But yeah, it's a good card for sure. Just for limited, being into rare, yeah, again. Still, even for limited, it's good. Next up, Cryogen Relic for 2 mana artifact. When it enters or leaves the battlefield, draw a card. And for 2 mana, sacrifice this artifact, put a stun counter on up to 1 target tapped creature. Okay, so you don't need any additional work for getting rid of this artifact, because you can just sacrifice it. Yeah, it's good. It's an artifact. Again, it's a cheap artifact, so you can trigger those. Double spell triggers. Or abilities. Trigger those double spell abilities. Then, where else? Of course, Dimir. I think, like, this is a straight up Dimir card because it's an artifact, and drawing cards is a control thing. That's good. It's good. I like it. Next up, Cryo Shatter for 1 mana enchantment or enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets -5/-0. And when enchanted creature becomes tapped or is dealt damage, destroy it. It's fine. It's cheap. It's a cheap spell and sort of removal even, right, for blue. yeah, it's fine. This Sculpting Blast for 2 mana instant, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Ooh, we like these cards. We like cards like this. It's such tempo card. And if it was attacking, create a 1/1 colorless draw an artifact creature token with flying, and this token can block only creatures with flying. Oh my god, it is. Could it be? Could it be like the best bounce spell? Oh, it's nice. I like it. And the fact that you create an artifact token may actually matter, right? Ooh, so good, so good. Yeah, I like it. Honestly, I really like cards like this. Such a tempo, such a good card. Next up, Divert Disaster for 2 mana instant. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. If they do, you create a lender token. Well, in the very worst case scenario, you just get a lender token for 2 mana. But the thing is that it's gonna be a card disadvantage for you, for sure. No, it's fine. You know, usually these 2 mana counter spells in limited, they're more than playable. You can count them as your 2 drops if you're playing a control deck. So yeah, sure, it's fine. I wouldn't be relying on that second ability too much, but yeah, sure. Next up, Emissary Escort for 2 mana, and it's a rare. It's an artifact creature 0/4. This creature gets +X/+0, where X is the greatest mana value among other artifacts you control. The rare. Why? Would you first pick it? I wouldn't. I wouldn't, honestly. It doesn't have evasion. It requires like additional work, so you have to be in this artifact archetype. It's just a 0/4 for 2 mana. No? Tell me I'm wrong. It's like 4 rare is just super underwhelming. Next up, Gigastorm Titan. 5 mana, 4/4. This spell costs 3 less to cast if you've cast another spell this turn. So instead of 5 mana, you may just cast it for 2, which is great. Oh, okay. So it's like, now you're talking. If we speak about this double spell archetype, which is Azorius. No, it's pretty neat, like, honestly, for 2 mana. I like it. For 2 mana, 4/4, like, let's go. For 5 mana, 4/4, no abilities, not so much. So yeah, you have to see. You have to see how it fits your deck and your synergy, your strategy overall. Next up is Eelboy Galeblade for 1 mana, 1/1, flash, flying. And it has an activated ability of this creature for 2 mana. Sacrifice this creature, draw a card. Oh, I like it. Alrighty, I like it. So good. So, cards like this, this is like a good example of cards that you can include to trigger these double spelling abilities. As flash, flying, what not to like, and it basically replaces itself, so you sacrifice to draw a card. Nice. Eelboy Infiltrator for 3 mana, 1/3 creature. This creature can be blocked if you've cast 2 or more spells this turn, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to player, draw a card. Ooh, this, like, if this requires some work, 1/3 again is kind of underwhelming, and for it to draw your card, like, you're going to work. You need to put some yeah, some deck building costs. For sure, you have to pay some deck building costs. So where does it stand? Like, it is a sort of payoff for your double spelling. But I don't know. I don't know if it's strong enough, to be honest. Next up, Ilvoy Light Gemmer for 2 mana artifact equipment with Flash. When it enters, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gains hexproof until end of turn. And also +1/+2, equip 3. Again, it's an artifact, it's a cheap artifact. Like this combat trick, I think that like the part that you can sort of save your creature from a removal makes more sense than like this boosting effect +1/+2. I guess still it's fine. So again, I would play it if like really needed. So if your 23rd card. Next up, Ilvoy Operative for 2 mana. We have a 2/1 creature. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Alright, so first and foremost, it is your 2-drop, and then like it may be bigger. Why not? Yeah, sure. It's a fine 2-drop if you're playing blue. Lost in Space for 4 mana. Instant target artifact or creature's owner puts it on their choice of the top or bottom of their library, and it's really long. Okay, this is your classic soft removal spell, as I call it. I like it. Honestly, it's okay. Next up, Mechan Assembler for 5 mana. We have artifact creature 4/4. Whenever another artifact you control enters, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. So this is what I call artifact fall. So there is a landfall and there is an artifact fall. And like if you have something like that, then all of those cheap artifacts, they make so much more sense. So not only you're able to trigger this double spelling abilities, but also like something like that. This is kind of crazy, honestly. I like it a lot, but only if you're able to trigger it, of course, because if not, 5 mana for 4 is just, yeah, not good enough. But in the right archetype, in the right deck, oh, so good. Next up, Mechan Navigator for 2 mana, artifact creature 2/1. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, draw a card, then discard a card. Nice. This is a, yeah, good. It's a great 2-drop. It's an artifact. It's a looter. You can use it for your spacecrafts. Great. Very, very fine. Very fine. It's a fine 2-drop. Next up, Mechan Shieldmate for 2 mana artifact creature 3/2 defender. As long as an artifact enters the battlefield under your control this turn, this creature can attack as though it didn't have defender. Like cards like this, again, you want to play them if you have this artifact synergy. Maybe if you're on the control side of things, then it's fine. Like, you don't care about it attacking, you really need to just have a solid blocker, and it does exactly that. Hello there. Next up, Mechanozoa for 6 mana, 5/5, artifact creature, robot jellyfish. When it enters, tap target artifact or creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it, and it has warp too. Okay, great. Love it. Honestly, it's an artifact. Warp. I'm just loving this ability more and more. Great. Toughness 2. Yeah. Again, it's like, yeah, cards like this, they're not great. But Mechanozoa, I like it. However, it may be not so good against go white decks, right? But all in all, it looks solid to me. And it's a common. Next up, Mental Modulation. For 2 mana instant, this spell costs 1 less to cast during your turn. Tap target artifact or creature, draw a card. So for 1 mana on your turn, love it. So again, this is your cantrip to trigger double spelling abilities. Nice. Honestly, I like it. I like that there is quite a lot of support now. Or at least, like, in my mind, it's kind of like coming together. And we've just seen what whole white and a half of blue probably. Ooh, finally you have a rare Menon. The right hand. For 5 mana, Jellyfish Advisor. 3/4 with flying. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast artifact spells from the top of your library. And artifacts you control have tap, add 1 blue mana. Spend this mana only to cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand. What? Pretty neat, honestly. Considering the abilities above. Would you first pick it? Would you first pick it? 5 mana for 4th line. I mean, all of it is pretty nice. Again, it's not like a bomby bomb, but it is a solid rare. And like, but imagine if you open it in your first pack. Would you first pick it? Like without any information of the format. Like imagine this is your first ever draft. Of Edge of Eternities, and then trying to build around it. Maybe, right? But then, like at the beginning of drafting the limited format, I find it hard to build something decent in blue, to be honest, because I feel like it's more difficult to put together than any other aggro deck. It's gonna. This is worth a shot. Yeah, I like it. I quite agree, actually. Yeah, and also like other artifacts. So you have to build around it. Imagine. Probably you're in dimmer colors, right? So, or I don't know, maybe even Azores. So you have to have like a lot of artifacts, and then you just cast all of these artifacts from the top, and your artifacts, they provide you with mana. So actually, like, it has like kind of crazy potential. So yeah, I agree. I agree with your comments. So I would probably also give it a shot, just to see, honestly, how this archetype works as well. But yeah. Next up, it is another rare Moonlit Meditation for 3 mana enchantment aura. Enchant artifact or creature you control. The first time you would create 1 or more tokens each turn, you may instead create that many tokens that are copies of enchanted permanent. Oh my god. Like, why? Why? I guess because we have play boosters now, and we need to have unplayable rares like this. Is it as bad as I think it is? Like, for a limited, honestly, it's just no, because it requires a lot of work. Like, imagine 3 mana, you tap out, it does nothing. I guess, like, for constructed, not for standard, though, I'm not sure. Feels like a commander card. Honestly, this is me. Every time I do not understand a rare card, or at least every time that I see like a non-playable, because like now they tend to make all of the cards playable and limited, but okay. Every time I do not understand a card like this, I also think about Commander. Oh my god. Yeah, I agree. But no, not for limited, unfortunately. Next up, Mouth of the Storm for 7 mana, 6/6, flying with ward. When this creature enters, creatures your opponents control get -3, -0 until your next turn. 7 mana though. I guess it hints that it belongs to Simic, because Simic is our ramp archetype. Like honestly, like it is pretty badass, like as a finisher, or if you're able to cast it earlier, so to speak. If you're able to ramp out, then sure, honestly, like 6/6 flyer with ward and ETB is pretty neat. Yeah. But just again, specifically for this archetype, right? Because 7 mana just on its own is, yeah, it's not great. Next up, Nanoform Sentinel for 3 mana, 3/2 artifact creature. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, untap another target permanent. This ability triggers only once each turn. You're untapping another target permanent. Fair, like cards like this, they look a little bit weak, so they're playable, but you have to have this synergy. I don't know, it's either artifact synergy or spacecraft, right? Because the 2 toughness, 3 drop that trades with the 2 drop is not good enough in my mind. I don't like this card, to be honest. Like, again, it is playable, but it's not good in my mind, or just first impressions. Next up, Quantum Riddler, and it's a mythic. 5 mana, 4/6, flying creature. When this creature enters, draw a card. Alrighty, listen, already I like it. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. If you would draw 1 or more cards, you draw that many cards +1 instead. It is warp 2, honestly. Could it be the best rare/mythic that we've seen so far? Honestly, it is just smashing for limited, no? Just so good. So, first you cast it for the warp cost, you draw a card. And then you have like a solid body, 4/6 flying. Drawing card again. Amazing, and just 5 mana. I mean, you would draw 1 card anyway, so like this whole ability, it may be relevant like late game if you cast it. But again, we're just talking about limited, you know, about limited play only. I love it. It is mythic, but yeah, it may be just the best that we've seen so far. Cards like this are what is it has to be nerfed coins rotation. Oh wow, yeah. I'm curious to see whether it's gonna be played in constructing standard after rotation, but all in all, it is very good. Or limited. Next up, Scour for Scrap. 4 mana instant. Choose 1 or both. Search your library for an artifact card per village, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And a return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. No. No, I don't like it. 4 mana, the fact is not good enough. I don't know, it's just the fact does not justify putting it into my deck, to be honest. Next up, Self-Craft Mechan. 4 mana, artifact creature 3/4. When it enters, you may sacrifice an artifact. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and draw a card. Now we have a sacrifice sub-archetype in blue. What? But to be fair, the amount of those cheap artifacts makes sense. I was actually thinking, is there a way to utilize those cheap artifacts? And there is. Unfortunately, it only works when it enters, so like you cannot activate this ability anytime. It is strictly ETB ability, so I guess still good. You know, if you're in this artifact archetype, I would play it. It has it requires some deck building costs certainly, so it's not universally good. Okay, again, I love all the synergy in this set. Agree. Next up, Sinister Cryologist for 3 mana, creature 2/3. When it enters, target creature and opponent controls gets -3/-0 until end of turn, and it has Warp 1. Honestly, Warp now just has a soft spot. I have a soft spot for anything Warp now. I'm very excited about this new mechanic. That's good. Like this, like in particular, maybe not like the best Warp creature that we've seen, but it's good still. So for Warp, like we make a creature of opponent smaller, maybe we have a good attack, and then same thing, so maybe Azorius, double spelling, something tempo. Next up, Specimen Freighter, 6 mana, spacecraft. When it enters, return up to 2 target non-spacecraft creatures to their owner's hands. And if it has 9 or more counters, it becomes a creature 4/7 with flying, and whenever this spacecraft attacks, the dependent player mills 4 cards. Ooh. This is like meringue. Meringue sort of a deal. Meringue at home. I guess it's okay for limited, honestly. This your top end, maybe. Yeah, it may be your top end. It may become eventually your finisher in I don't know where, Demir in Azorius. Yeah. It's giving me this meringue vibes, certainly. Next up, Star Breach Whale, 5 mana, creature with flying 3/5. When it enters, surveil 2, and it has Warp 2. I mean, nice. Yeah. I love the design of these cards, honestly. So in my mind, this would fit either Azorius again because of the warp cost. The warp cost is so cheap, or rather Dimir. because yeah, it's about for your turn 2 you surveil, then you just cast this 3/5 body eventually with flying, and also surveil, why not? Next up, and it's a rare Starfield Valkyries for 4 mana. Have a creature 3/4. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes trigger ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time, and it has Warp 2. Honestly, you can pretty neatly to combo off with this card, no? Because there are a lot of creatures with ETBs in the set. My only concern is that let's imagine you cast it for your warp cost. Like at what point, right? So like this, I don't get that much. How good is this rare for limited? I'm actually on the fence, not gonna lie. Because it requires a deck building cost. Like a certain deck building cost for sure. It's a 4 mana, 3/4 creature without evasion. Like this ability, this may be of course pretty busted, but for limited it looks like a lot of work. I don't know. To be fair, I would not first pick it. Now that I'm thinking of it, like, again, it's a rare. Would you first pick it? Would probably not. This is crazy. Kinda seems better for constructed. I agree. It looks straight up as a constructed design. But even for constructed, like, I'm thinking about standard at the moment. I mean, okay, we have this warp cost, sure. I don't know. It looks like a trap. I agree. I have the same feeling, honestly. Like, you should be good. Next up, Star Winder for 7 mana. It's a rare, another rare. 7/7. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw that many cards, and it has 4/4. Okay, speaking now it's like now you're talking, right? Now this is your limited bomb. It's a rare that you want to open, no? Even though it costs 7 mana, this warp cost just saves it, of course. And oh my god, like you may draw cards out of nowhere if you pick the right moment, like a bunch of cards. What do you think? What do you think about this card? This may be crazy good, but yeah, you have to pick the right moment for this warp cost. And then yeah, you have your body 7/7. Same thing, right? Playthinator, hello, thank you so much for your follow. Not quite enduring curiosity, but the kiddo was amazing. It's a definite bomb. Yeah, I agree. Like comparing these two for limited, of course, because we're talking about limited. Yeah, this is it. This is it. And especially if you're able to ramp out, just imagine how good potentially can it be, right? Next up, Steel Swarm Operator for 2 mana artifact creature 1/1 flying. It has 2 activated abilities. For tap, add 1 mana spend this mana only to cast an artifact spell. Or tap, add 2 blue mana. Spend this mana only to activate abilities of artifact sources. Ooh, this is going to be definitely playable in the specific archetypes. In this archetypes, it's cheap artifact. Then probably you can utilize it, I don't know, somehow. Fast flying. Yeah, I love it. Basically, it is your ramping out spell for artifacts. It is your mana dork for those artifact strategies. Yeah, but we're talking about limited. I mean, it's okay to put your perspective on other formats as well, like just I'm giving my thoughts based on the limited format. Next up, Synthesizer, lab shape for 1 mana, have a rare spacecraft. Okay, it's just 1 mana artifact. If it has two, so no ETBs, I mean, if it has 2 or more counters at the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 other target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 2/2 and gains flying until end turn. Let's go. And if it has 9 or more counters, it becomes a creature 4/4 with flying and vigilance. Okay, now I think of this is pretty easy. So again, it's a rare. Would you first pick it? Me personally, I would. Because again, it's a 1 mana artifact spell. I think that it's gonna matter. It's gonna matter a lot in Azorius for this double spell, and it's gonna matter in Dimir because it's an artifact. Where else is it? Is it too, like, I don't know, I have to see, like, hold on. Mechanics. Just come back quickly to Izzet. So Izzet is called Artifact Aggro. Yeah, let's go. Artifact Aggro, sure. I love it. Yeah. Aw. Thank you for that comment. Best limited best ever. Oh, appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. That's like just so well rounded and fits so many archetypes, right? Yeah, great. Even though it requires some work, it is a good rare. Next up, Tractor Beam for 4 mana, enchantment aura, enchant creature or spacecraft. When this aura enters, tap enchanted permanent you control enchanted permanent, and enchanted permanent doesn't tap during its controllers and taps them. Honestly, yeah. So this is your premium blue removal spell. The fact that you get to control enchanted permanent is actually pretty significant, which means that like any sort of sacrificing effects that your opponent may have there, just they don't work anymore. Nice. Yeah, and also you may utilize that. You yourself may sacrifice that creature. Neat. Yeah, great. Through and through. Even though it's a 4 mana sleep, yeah, good. Certainly. Next up, Unravel for 3 mana instant. Counter target spell. If the amount of mana spent to cast that spell was less than its mana value, you draw a card. Okay, so it kind of justifies that, like, if you counter like a 2 mana spell, right? Hold on, 100. If the amount of mana spent to cast that spell was less than... Oh, no. Hold on. I just said it. It just means that if you counter, like, this warp cost, right? You draw a card. Nice. Okay, now I got it. So if the amount of mana spent to cast that spell was less than its mana value, which clearly indicates the warp alternative cost, draw a card. I mean, it's a cancel with bonus, so a counter spell that is relevant to this whole dynamic of the set. Yeah, it's pretty nice, I guess. It's, yeah. So, in Foundations, Refute was pretty good, right? Even though at the beginning I was quite skeptical, in the end, Refute was a very, very playable spell. And I think that here, like, same thing. Like, the fact that if you cast this warp, you draw a card, honestly, it is very significant. Next up, we'll throw Signpost. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing. So next turn, 3 mana, creature 2/4. The second spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. Okay, so this is just straight up this double spelling archetype. Sure. I mean, it has pretty nice stats, pretty defensive. The ability is good too, I guess. So again, it is quite specific to the archetype. So you have to play it's more of a control deck, or just straight out this tempo double spelling. To be fair, like about this Azores, I still haven't figured out where it stands. Is it a control deck? Is it a tempo archetype? Like I don't know, because this looks quite defensive. But we shall see. We shall see when the set comes out. Next up, Uthros Scanship for 4 mana, artifact spacecraft. When it enters, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Okay. I mean, 4 mana for this effect. And when it has 8 or more counters, it becomes a 4/4 creature with flying. So, what do I think? To be fair, I don't think that it is impactful enough for limited. But, again, it may work out just based on your synergy, because it's an artifact. But yeah, I'm quite skeptical about this, to be honest. Ooh, next up is a mythic. Maybe filler in the archetype. Yeah, probably. Like if you really need to hit that certain amount of artifacts in your deck, then yeah. Alright, Weft Walking, and it is the last blue card for 6 mana mythic enchantment. When this enchantment enters, if you cast it, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library, then draw 7 cards. The first spell each player casts during each of their turns may be cast without paying its mana cost. Whoa. Wow. Alrighty, I can tell that it's not a limited card, it's not a limited design. Yeah. What do you think? I wouldn't even go there. I mean, it's just, yeah, some like cards like this, yeah, you cannot, even if you cast it, it all works out. Like, imagine if your opponent just draws their bomb in the 7 cards and casts it straight away without paying the mana cost. It's just devastating. It is, yeah, it is a constructed card. Good way to find out if your opponent has bombs. Well, it may cost you. It might cost you again. Alright, so as promised, we're done with blue. So let's crack a pack. Hold on. Opponent doesn't get a hand. Alright, opponent doesn't get a new hand, right? Ooh, this actually... Does it make a difference, though? For it to be playable in limited? I think not. Listen, it's a mythic. It's just a matter, would you pick it? Like, I don't know, if it gets passed, I guess you can play it, but then So I might be... Okay, so the fact that they don't get a new hand, maybe... But then again, if you don't draw anything relevant, I don't know, it's just too random. It's too random to my taste. But at least, yeah, so basically it means that for 6 mana you draw 7 cards. If we I consider it like this, just for 6 mana draw 7 cards, maybe not so bad. Nothing relevant. A skill issue. Okay, so maybe it is limited playable after all. That's, you know, like cards like this, they really make you think. Especially during this first impressions, without ever playing the format, it's hard to evaluate, right? But okay, it is playable, so I take it back because I misunderstood the card. It is playable, but oh my god, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't first pick it. All right. Anyway, let's crack it back. Let's see, and then we move on to the black. All right, here it comes. I do not have it like a special equipment, so I'm just going to put it there. Hopefully, my green screen won't mess it up. All right, so let's go. What do we have here? So this is our hero token. Okay, green screen kind of messes it up. What do we have next? What's next? What's that? Yeah, green screen messes it up. As per origins. Oh, let's go. As per origins. Yeah, because it's green, that's why it's like that. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a rare, sorry, it's foil. As per origins. Oh my god. Next up. Is it better if it's not green? I wonder. So, Kafka Palazzo. What is this? Porphyro's God of the Forge. I don't know. Is it? Where is it playable even? Okay, next up. Vincent Valentine. Can you see it? Is it good enough? What's that? It's not rare. Next up. Seed Mercenary. It's okay, I guess. Is that it? It's a commander deck now? Oh, it's a commander card. That Struggle and Realm. Yeah, it is commander. It's commander. Another rare. Foil. Father. From father to son. Nah, not exciting. So cute, of course, but it's going to be invisible, I guess. With Chocobos. Is that Summon Primal Garuda? What's that? Was it? Oh, right. I didn't recognize because in Collector's Boosters you have all this alternative arts, but yeah, it was like in the normal set. Then we just okay, except for Esper Origins, I guess it's not very exciting. Yeah, this is just the rest. I guess we'll have to start next time with commons and uncommons. And then we just move on to the rares. Samurai's Katana, London Condor, so all of this just there. Foils, white Horus Seat, and Raid Mages are up here. So here's this. Okay, so next time I'm gonna start the other way around. But yeah, the rare here was Esper Origins. Origins, I wonder how much it's gonna I don't know, you still, yeah, can't really see it. Anyway, this was the pack, so a little bit underwhelming for a collector booster, but okay, maybe next time well, something more valuable. On to black. First card, it's a mythic Altharel Stone Chosen. 4/5 mana, 3/3. Creature with ward, discard a card at random. Alright. And it has this new mechanic voice, so finally we can see it being represented. Alright, what does it do? Whenever this creature attacks, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped this turn, defendant player loses half their life rounded up. Slasher's big brother. Yeah, okay, so this new void mechanic, I feel like it's going to be represented the most, and black and red maybe, because I don't know, it's just based on the archetype description. But as for this card, yeah, I mean, it's a 3/3, 4/5, but void ability is pretty strong. Would you first pick it? Like, the more that I think about it, it looks kinda weak for limited, to be honest, because of the stats. And it doesn't have evasion, it doesn't have death touch as Slasher does. So is it really that good? And it's a mythic, like, honestly, but at the same time, like, this triggers when it attacks, so maybe you don't care about it too much. I don't know. One attack, yeah. Just I'm thinking how it's gonna survive. How it's gonna survive this stage of the game. I don't know. I'm putting a whole like, to be fair, I don't really like it. Next up, Arch Enemy's Charm. Let's go for 3 black mana instant. Choose 1. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Return 1 or 2 target creature and or planeswalker cards from your graveyard to your hand. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. It gains lifelink until end of turn. It's a rare. So, okay. I mean, for constructed, sure, like, this mana cost is fine. We also have mono black in standard, but if we talk about limited, would you first pick it? Like, 3 black mana is just... Alright, I'm just looking at it. No. Because, yeah, 3 black mana. At the same time, just a matter of when are you able to cast it, really. At the same time, like, all of the effects, they're probably related to the late game, right? Any of those effects except for maybe the first one, but I mean, still. So, like, returning creatures to counters, I guess, also fine. It's just, I don't know if I would want to first pick it, to be honest. But all in all, yeah, it's good, I guess. Just the mana cost. The mana cost kind of pulls it. Makes it difficult. But the effects are fine for the late game. So maybe it's fine if you're like straight up 2 colors. Next up, Beam Saw Prospector. For 2 mana, we have a creature 2/1. When this creature dies, create a lender token. Okay, that's a nice expandable to drop. Sure, you create a token, so maybe this landfall, as I call it, matters to you. And anyway, it's value, right? Yeah, good to drop. Blade of the Swarm. For 4 mana, we have a creature 3/1. When it enters, choose 1, put 2+1/+1 counters on this creature, or put target exiled card with warp on the bottom of his owner's library. It's the evilest thing ever. Imagine. But I guess, damn, so just like baseline for 4 mana, you get 4/2. Not good enough. Like 2 toughness. Toughness 2 means that you're going to trade with the 2 drop on warp. Yeah. I don't like it, to be honest. No, I don't think it's worth it. Maybe as a sideboard card if your opponent like has a crazy amount of this warp spells. But yeah. Oh no, sorry, 2+1/+1 counters. So baseline, I'm sorry, 5/3. Okay, this like a little bit changes the perspective. So 4/2 is just, yeah, no, thank you. 5/3, 4/4, maybe. But again, like in my mind, it is somewhere in the borderline of filler plots, something like that. Anyway, next up, Corral of the Void. 4 mana, enchantment aura. It's a rare. Enchant creature you control. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, put target creature card from defending player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking. What? And it has Void at the beginning of your end step. Sacrifice this aura unless a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped this turn. Which means that like it stays put if you're able to trigger that, right? If you're able to bring back your opponent's creatures and attack them, right? I made it in the perspective. Again, for limited, I don't like cards like this. They are too situational. Honestly, 4 mana. It's a lot of investment too. On its own, it doesn't do much. Like, you have to pick your moment. And exactly. No, I would straight up pass on this. Next up, Comet Crawler. For 3 mana, we have a creature 2/3 with lifelink. Whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, this creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Alright. So, our sacrifice payoff, sort of. I mean, it's not great, it's not terrible, it feels very mediocre. More like a filler. I do not see like a lot of synergy with it. Maybe for a Dimir, actually. If you do have a lot of cheap, like expandable artifacts, or the artifacts that you don't need anymore, maybe. Just a neat little guy. No, it's playable, but yeah, so. I would say mediocre. Dark Endurance. For 2 mana instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast if it targets a blocking creature. So just 1 mana for a blocking creature. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Alright, so yeah, pretty standard, pretty classic combo trick for black, except for that if you block with your own creature, then you just pay 1 mana instead of 2, which is pretty neat, I would say. It's okay, but it's a combo trick, so I cannot rate it highly. And also, like, if you really need it, you can pick it up probably very late. So yeah. Next up, Decode Transmissions. For 3 mana sorcery, you draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. It has Void if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was worked this turn. Instead, you draw 2 cards and each opponent loses 2 life. Cards like this, again, it looks like your standard draw spell in black. For 3 mana, you draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. Like, pretty standard, pretty classic. Except for now, it has a twist with this new mechanic, Void. But again, I don't know. This just maybe may come to the personal preference. Me personally, I do not really like cards like that. I rarely play them in limited. But yeah, of course, it is playable. It just, yeah, depends on your preference, really. Me personally, I do not like it. However, this Void, you know, maybe it makes it better. It's because you do not need to lose 2 life. Because in decks like this, like those control defensive decks, oops, I'm sorry, like losing 2 life may be like a lot, you know, if you're playing from behind especially. But anyway, next up, Depressurize, a 2 mana instant. Target creature gets -3/-0 until end of turn. Then, if that creature's power is 0 or less, destroy it. So, basically, it is a removal for little guys. Pretty neat, honestly. It may work as a combo trick too. I don't know, like, a little bit awkward. But okay. Okay. It is still like a combo trick / removal. Soy Barty, hello! Thank you so much for your follow. Next up, Dubious Delicacy. For 3 mana, artifact food with flash. So when it enters, up to 1 target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. Oh my god, it is so good. So it is a removal, it is an artifact. Sacrifice this artifact, of course, as any food, you gain 3 life. Or for 2 and tap, sacrifice this artifact. Target opponent loses 3 life. This is pretty neat. Yeah, I like it. Again, artifact fall, or like, this is like the perfect example of an expandable artifact. So what matters is its ETB ability, -3/-3 flash. Like, honestly, it's so good. Yeah, I like it. For limited, it is just pretty good, I think. Next up, Elegy Athlete for 4 mana, 4/4 lifelink. It is a rare. It is creature rare. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose 1 life. It has Void. So I guess like the wording of Void is the same. So it means that at the beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent at the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, and then something. So I'm not gonna read it again. Create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. Honestly, this is very solid. Again, it's probably not a bomby bomb, but it is very solid. Woo! Sorry, I need to. As much as I do. Yeah, no, it's great, honestly. Yeah. No, it's very solid. It's very solid. For limited, of course. The fact that it has lifelink is nice. It's a nice body. 4/4/4/4. Creatability, like through and through. All right. Fresh. All right. Next up is Embrace Oblivion. For 1 mana, Sword 3. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature. And what it does is destroy target creature or spacecraft. Okay, so another take on like Eaten Alive or something like that. I guess it's fine if you have like expandable creatures, if you have like an artifacts again. It depends on the deck, but usually I wouldn't play more than one, but again, depends on your deck. Next up, and it's a rare Entropic Battle Cruiser for 4 mana. It's a rare artifact spacecraft. Okay, it doesn't have any ETB abilities, but if it does have 1 or more counters, it has whenever an opponent discards a card, they lose 3 life. For limited, it's kind of relevant, okay? And when it has 8 or more counters, it becomes a creature 3/10 with flying and death touch. And whenever this spacecraft attacks, each opponent discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. Okay, so okay, when it becomes a creature, it all makes sense. The worst ever rare. 4 mana is quite a lot, right? 4 mana do nothing is quite a lot for limited. I think it's a lot. It's a big investment and like it's really worth it, right? Like 3/10 flyer. Tested. I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't first pick it. But if I happen to like pick it up somehow later, if I get past on it, maybe like I would give it a go. I would play it, but honestly, like 4 mana to nothing. I don't know. It's just, the thing is with the spacecraft, being at a new sort of a card and mechanic, you know, it's hard to figure out how exactly it's gonna play out in reality. So yeah, like just as is, yeah, it's underwhelming. Next up, Fuller's Faithful for 3 mana, creature 31. When it enters, destroy up to 1 other target creature. If that creature wasn't dealt damage this turn, its controller draws 2 cards. Oh, that's a twist. That's a twist. This sort of manticore effects, they haven't been great recently, and I would say that never been really good, so because they're quite situational. Here it's another way around, I would say. So the condition is that you give your opponent 2 cards if you like destroy a creature with this one, so you do not have to meet that oh my god, that condition that you destroy a creature that's been dealt damage, but at the same time you kind of want to do it, right? Because you don't want to give your opponent 2 cards. 2 cards is a lot in limited. Lothringer 44, hello, thank you so much for your follow. I like this happy wizard. Kill your own token. Oh, that works too, right? That works too. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's a pretty neat design. It's not your Manticore, of course. So you can play it out in a bunch of different ways, I would say, right? Yeah. Still, I guess it is. Is it specific to the archetype, or is it universally good in your opinion? I think it's quite specific still. If you want to get that value, you would want to have a bunch of spinal creatures. Or I don't know, maybe as they call Orzhov, the go white archetype, maybe it's gonna be fine there. But also, you know, like in the very worst scenario, you just like it's a creature that kills your opponent's creature. Like let's say they have a bomb, which is, you know, also not nothing, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, it's good. It's good. I agree. Alright. Val Great Dropship, to pronounce it. For 3 mana, it's a spacecraft. When it enters, mill 3 cards, then return a creature or spacecraft card from your graveyard to your hand. And when it has 8 or more counters, it becomes a flyer creature with lifelink 3/2. So self-mill effect matters for Bulgaria mostly, but it is an artifact. I don't know how important this self-mill is going to be in Premier. Bulgaria, sure. But I guess anyway, I guess it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice to get to interact with the graveyard. You're most likely are going to hit something, so it is like a value card. That's good. I think it's okay. Yeah. No, it's good. And like later on it becomes a creature. No. Also in Aether Drift there was this vehicle that was doing pretty much the same thing, right? For 3 mana it was quite good. Oh, that's true, yes. You can war something, yes. Station, sword creatures, yeah. You can like these warp creatures, they go into exile and not into a graveyard though. But you can warp a creature, of course. Just station it, like put counters on it. That works, I think. Or was it exactly what you meant? Anyway, yeah, I will love that card. Next. Next up is Craftblade Heavy for 4 mana, 3/4. As long as you control an artifact, this creature gets +1/+0 and has Death Touch. So this is like a filler to me, honestly. Like, okay, not great, not terrible, just playable if you really need it, but yeah, it's like more of a filler. Next up, Grafkel for 4 mana, instant exile target creature or spacecraft. This is like your premium removal in black, of course. Next up, Craft Pack Monaist for 3 mana, 2/1 flying. When this creature dies, create a tapped 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. Pretty nice, you know. It is sort of expandable creature, but at the same time, you don't want to sacrifice it for something naturally, right? You want to trade it because it has flying. But then if you trade in combat, or if your opponent destroys it, then you get a value. Also, like the fact that this token is an artifact creature may matter. just, I don't know, for your artifact count or for like artifact fall. There are a bunch of effects, so yeah, it is fine, I guess. Next up, Hull Carver for 1 black mana, 1/1 Death Touch artifact creature. Good, you know, it is what you need if you're playing more of a defensive, slower deck. It's going to be fine in Dimir because of the artifact synergy. I guess it's going to be good in Golgari because, again, I would assume it's going to be more of a grindy, slower archetype. Cheap artifact, I don't know. Yeah, if you're playing control, then sure. Except Elder Blade for 1 mana. Artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +3/+1. Equip cost 4. And it has Void. So if you trigger the Void, you attach this equipment to target creature you control. I'm not a fan. At the same time, again, it's a cheap artifact. How important is it going to be? That's the question that we're going to discover very soon. That we'll find an answer very soon. But just like first look at it, first impressions, it's just not great. Like +3/+1. Equip cost is a lot, but then like Void is your alternative cost. Nah. Yeah, exactly. That's true. You see, like, from what we've seen so far, synergy is gonna matter a lot, I think. Like, because all of these cards, like, on their own, are like, what is this? Like, they're not great. But if you think about synergy, about archetypes, how it can all work together, then maybe. But, I mean, still. Yeah, if you're in this sacrifice archetype, or if you really need, like, cheap artifacts, maybe, but no, probably not. Next up, Hymn of the Faller for 2 mana sorcery, surveil 1, then you draw a card and lose 1 life. It has Void, and for Void you draw another card. So ideally, if you're able to trigger Void on your turn, then cast this, you surveil 1, and then you draw 2 cards. What do we think? Yeah, for sure. I mean, the whole Ragus archetype is just called Void. You see, like it's not synergetic with Warp because it is a sorcery, and Warp effect, like you're going to put your creature or your permanent with Warp into exile at the beginning of your end step, so you're not able to cast it actually to trigger that Void. If I understand it correctly, like Void with Warp, they're kind of clashing. They're not synergetic. Yeah, like these cards again. Maybe, but just if you're like without Void, it's just no. With Void, maybe. Insatiable Skitter Maw for 3 mana, 2/2 Menace, Void, and for Void, what do we get for Void? We put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. I don't think it's a good enough of a payoff, to be honest. Yeah, Menace, but I don't know, it just looks too slow. Next up, Lightless Evangel for 2 mana, 2/2 creature. Whenever you sacrifice another creature or artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Alright, so it is a payoff. It's not an enabler. Yeah, it's fine. You know, it's a 2-drop. And then eventually it may become bigger. Why not? A spell is warped when it's cast. Oh, hold on. I said that it's not synergetic. Our spell was warped. So it still works. I'm so sorry, this is my bad. So actually, yeah, warp and void, they are synergetic. Yeah, I'm so sorry. You were correct. Yeah, because of the wording. Yeah, exactly, because of this wording. Okay, listen, then it may be easier to trigger actually than I thought. No, I think you're correct. I think you're both correct. Evil Unicornium and Evidence Self. For sure, because, yeah, it just says exactly that. If a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped this turn, so you, yeah, exactly. Alright. Mana Circuit Feeder for 6 mana, 4/4 artifact creature with flying. When this creature enters, until end of turn, target creature you control gets +X/+0, and target creature an opponent controls gets -0/-X, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Whoa. Big Ziot, hello, thank you so much for your raid. Hello raiders, welcome! So the new set, Edge of Eternities, is coming our way this week. It's the pre-release week. And as always, I'm doing my first impressions / limited set review of the set. Thank you so much for the raid again. Hello raiders, welcome. Said honestly, it looks pretty bomb to me. Like a lot of synergy, which I love. A lot of like even not so obvious synergies, you know. Yeah, like some cards you look at them and you don't know how to put them, how to figure it all out sometimes. So, you know, because of this new mechanics like Starship, like is it going to be too slow or not? For example, right now when you look at those cards, you cannot really figure it out. So you like really need to play it. So I'm just trying to navigate it maybe more conservatively. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I didn't get a bomb rare to stop the curve. To be fair, yeah. Like coming back to this card, 6 mana is a lot. I think Evidence Elf, you put it very well. Make it maybe your top end if you didn't have anything else going on. It's a flyer, but it's an artifact, maybe it's gonna matter. But all in all, it's just, yeah, so I would say. But if you do have a lot of artifacts, and a lot, I mean, like 8 is the basic minimum, so you need to go up like 10 or something. Which Dimir is called like artifact control, so I guess, you know what, maybe. Next up, Mana is Sentries, 1 mana artifact defender 4/1. Listen, why not? It's a cheap artifact again. Maybe, as I call it, artifact wall matters. Like artifact count, and then it just stops pretty much anything. Yeah, that's another good point. 6-mana removal on a 4/4 flying body can be good, yeah. And to be fair, like just based on my straight up first impressions, format looks slow. Or I don't know, my predictions that it's gonna be slow. So coming back to this, like, you may think, what is this monstrosity? But honestly, sure, like 1 mana defender artifact for 1. To be fair, I would prefer like a 1/1 Death Toucher better, but it's okay, I guess. Perigi Beckoner, 5 mana, creature 4/5. When this creature enters until end of turn, another target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Okay, so this is like combat trick, and it has warp. Problem is that warp is a sorcerer speed. I don't know how good it's gonna be for this particular effect. But I mean, still, it triggers void. It provides you maybe with a good attack, and then you just cast it all over again. I guess it's fine. Lothringer, I agree with you. I agree. Like, my thoughts exactly. Like, all the stations, and just considering the amount of counters that you need to put on them, like, on average, for them to become creatures, yeah. This, looks like a filler. It's okay, I think. If you need to trigger the void, I guess it's fine to play it. Everyone's tapping creatures to station instead of leaving them to block. Is it gonna be like this though? Also, you need only 1 creature to tap, right? Because this is important. This is what I've been talking about at the beginning. Is it gonna work like Harmonize or like a Convoke? Because it says that you could tap a creature. Can you tap like a lot of creatures? I don't think so. I think it works more like a Harmonize. Let me know, like, because this is important. I assume you can do loads. That honestly makes more sense, right? Just do them one at a time. So works like you can walk, right? You tap a bunch of creatures and you put the combined power amount counters. Where is it? Edge of Eternities mechanics. Hold on, let us come back to the warp. I don't know. Hold on. Where is this starship? What? Starships? Okay. Hold on. To activate the station ability, tap an untapped creature you control other than the spacecraft itself. This can be any other untapped creature you control. Doesn't honestly, like, in the wording it says a creature. So I have a feeling that it works like Harmonize. I may be wrong. I may be just, I don't know. This is kind of confusing, not gonna lie. You can also use station to tap your creatures even when the thresholds have been met to trigger tap matters. Yeah, that's true, that's true. So, if you know for sure how it works, just let me know, but I have a feeling that it's gonna work like Harmonize and not like Convoke. Anyway, moving on. A Requiem Monolith for 3 mana artifact. It's a rare for tap until end of turn. Target creature gains whenever this creature is dealt damage. You draw that many cards and lose that much life. That creature's controller may have this artifact deal 1 damage to it. Activate only as a sorcery. This is a very interesting wording because like you may sort of kill your opponent with it if you really want to, but honestly it's like it's kind of awkward. I don't know, this card is, what is this? Like, to be fair, it may be a nice engine. Yeah. It's an artifact. The fact that it costs 3 mana, I guess it's fine, you know? Ooh, I don't know. I'm not gonna first pick it though. Would you? Next up is Scrounge for Eternity. First pick it. Yeah, like I feel like the second ability, right? And also target creature, so not necessarily your creatures. That like that was my initial thought, like first. Yeah, you can play it out differently, like depending on the situation. Yeah, you think it first pick it? Yeah. Not gonna lie, this is quite complicated. Like it requires a certain deck building cost. At the same time, I don't know. Like I'm still on the fence whether or not I would want to first pick it, but I don't know. Again, depends on the pack, right? Next up is Scrounge for Eternity. 3 mana sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature. And what it does, return target creature or spacecraft card with mana value 5 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, then create a land or token. So it's a fun way to reanimate. I don't know, quite situational. Maybe if you do have something additional, I don't know, some additional trigger on your creature dying, maybe it makes sense, but also you need ideally expandable creatures and artifacts. I don't know, you require a certain deck building cost, like for sure. Just straight up looking at that, I don't know. Void, yeah, that's true. You trigger Void. So you see, like, depends on your scenario, depends on your deck, but where else? Also, Lender Token is an artifact, so maybe that is going to matter for you. Yeah, but again, let's say it's a build around area, just depending on where you're at. What is your archetype? Ooh, it's a mythic. So there is this super void 4 mana legendary enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent chooses a creature they control and exiles it. At the beginning of your end step, if a player controls no creatures, sacrifice the Thera, then put a creature card exiled with it onto the battlefield under your control with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it. So imagine you first pick it, then how are you going to build around it? Is the first pick? I think it's reasonable, like the mana cost 4 mana for that effect. So assuming you would have a certain board presence, right, for it to work, but also like you want to build some sort of sacrifice deck, right? Otherwise it may be awkward. Play black sack theme deck. Okay, let's go. But to be fair, I don't know. Okay, I have to see like the rest of the cards, because this sacrifice archetype, where are we at? So Orzhov is called Go White. I'm sorry, I'm just yeah. Rakdos is called Void, but then maybe Rakdos is our sacrifice archetype in the end. Or something in between Orzhov and Rakdos. Mobilize. Yeah, except for like you're talking about constructed. But here in limited, there is no mobilize in the Edge of Eternities set. To be fair, I don't know if I would first pick it and try to build around it. I'm not sure. Alright, next up, Sunset Saboteur for 2 mana, Manas for 1. With Ward, discard a card. Whenever this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and opponent controls. Whoa. Excuse me. What? It's like, I might joke to you. What is this card? There's Bass and Dimir. Yeah, I quite agree. It's a great aggressive. For 1 manas, honestly, is it good enough? I mean, imagine if you're playing from behind, it's just not great. Like, I don't know. And it's a rare. What is this? Yeah, I agree. It doesn't look like a good limited card to me. Because it trades so easily with like literally anything, and you have to put a +1/+1 counter on your opponent's creature. No. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't understand it. I don't think it's good or limited, to be honest. Next up, Caesarean Dirkcraft. So sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Like I really have no idea how to Put it 5 mana, spacecraft. When it enters, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Oh. Alright, not bad, but it's a 5 mana artifact. And for 7 and plus counters, it becomes a creature 4/3 with flying. One other thing for the Saboteur, it's really good at stationary ships. Listen, if it wasn't a rare, then yeah, I could consider it. But yeah. Too expensive for an edict effect. I agree. All this spacecraft, honestly, I don't know how to rate them really, because they are all quite expensive. Some of them do not have any ETB abilities at all, so except for them being artifacts, maybe it matters. Yeah, and it's uncommon actually. It's not common. I guess it's fine, you know. I guess it's still fine. Like, really need it if you're in this archetype, if you're in artifact theme. Yeah. To be fair, yeah, I'm very curious to play limited. Like so far, like I'm just confused. Next up is Caesarean Voidborn for 3 mana. We have a creature 2/2. Whenever this creature or another creature or artifact you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay, here's our Blood Artist. Like, sort of. It has Warp 1. Honestly, this may be exactly what you need for this sacrifice archetype. It's made Drain. Like, also triggers Void. I'm sorry, it has Warp, so it triggers Void. Exactly. I agree. Not for every black deck, so this is probably like Ragdas. I would say Ragdas specifically, maybe Orzhov, so not Dimir. I don't know. Memory is insane. In this specific archetype, I think so too. Next up, Swarm Color 4 mana. Look at that art too. Sorry, it is a 2/4 creature with flying. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact, and if you do, draw a card. Ooh. Okay, here comes your station synergy. Oh, this is a pretty neat design. So a lot of things, it combines a lot of things together. So you may tap it for your stations. It is your sacrifice enabler this way. I like it. I like it for this archetype. I think it may be something. But if we just look at it as 4 mana, 2/4, maybe not good enough. But then it's a flying, you know? You may trigger that naturally if you want to. No, I like it. Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's good and it's common. I think like there is like a lot of synergy for that to work. And yeah, you may, yeah, exactly. You don't have to. That's good. Alright, next up, Temporal Intervention for 3 mana. Sorcery with Void. So it just costs 2 mana less if you're able to trigger Void. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That players discard that card. Okay, so basically like 1 mana. Thoughtseize. Could be something, honestly. I guess it's fine, even for limited. And this may sound like crazy because I do not like disruption spells in limited, but I guess it's okay. Or at least in the sideboard. Yeah, that's true, that's true. Like for 1 mana, sure, I don't mind. For 3, it's like, not so much. But definitely sideboard card. Timeline color. 2 black mana. 2/2 with haste. You may cast this card from your graveyard using its warp ability. Oh, let's go. Warp 1 and pay 2 life. Pretty neat, I would say, even though like double black is not optimal for limited. But yeah, it is quite aggressive too. Triggers your void. Dredge material, yeah. Pretty neat. I like it. I guess it is like Ragdas designed mostly, but it's just, I don't know how feasible it's going to be like realistically to cast on your turn 2, but fine, you just, yeah, like warp Mace set. So good because it has haste, right? No, it's good, it's good, it's good. Like you don't have, like, what am I talking about? You just cast for 1 mana. Crazy. Secret mono black archetype. Yeah. That's good. Except tragic trajectory for 1 mana sorcery. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end turn. Okay, I've already read this card when we were talking about this mechanic void. Perfect. Chef's kiss. Crate. Chip. Removal. Except for its sorcerer, but you know what? It's okay. Next up, Umbral Color Zealot for 2 mana, 3/2, sacrifice another creature or artifacts, reveal 1. Listen, like it to drop. It is pretty aggressive, being it's a 3/2, so the fact that it has power 3 is pretty aggressive for it to drop. Now the payoff for sacrifice is not good enough, right? But I guess it's okay. Next up, Virus Beetle for 2 mana. The Return of the Beetle, 1/1. Artifact creature, when it enters, each opponent discards a card. Nice, so Virus Beetle is another print, right, from Kamigawa. Perfect. Honestly, this is exactly what you need for your sacrifice archetype. It is an expandable creature. Also, it is an artifact, so like it works both ways. Your sacrifice archetype, of course, Dimir artifact. I like it. No, yeah, Beetle is just good. Beetle is solid, through and through. Next up, Void Force Titan, 5 mana, 5/4. Artifact creature with void. What does it do if we are able to trigger it? You draw a card and lose 1 life. Listen, if we are able to like easily trigger that void, then sure. But yeah, you need to work. You need to have this void triggers going. As I call it, a deck building cost. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this, I mean, it's good if you're able to trigger it, right? Otherwise, not so much. Next up, vote out. But let's consider, listen, let's consider that it works, right, in the specific archetype, because from what we've seen so far, like, almost every single card, it just it's related to some sort of archetype, so the synergy is gonna matter a lot. Without monsters. Nice, nice. Yeah, vote out. Honestly, like for 4 mana, it's still okay. It would be okay for limited, but yeah, the fact that it has convoke is pretty crazy. Xu Elfit, Hostile Harmonist for 3 mana creature. It's a rare 2/3 for tap. You return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton in addition to its other types and has no abilities. Activate only as a sorcery. This is pretty neat. So, talking about limited. So we first pick it and then we're just trying to build around it. Or not. Do we have to really? Like ideally, I think it would work best in Golgari, of course, because of the graveyard synergy graveyard interaction. So just what we need to pick up a bunch of self-milling effects. Then just your every turn reanimator. Like ideally you would want to give this creature haste. That would be quite enough, I think. So maybe it just needs to work at least once. I don't know, for limited. Again, it's a build around. Like it's a straight up build around, I think, for limited. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Then the last black card is 0-Point Ballad. It's a rare for X and 1 black. Destroy all creatures with toughness X or less. You lose X life. If X is 6 or more, return a creature card and put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. Yeah, this is of course a pretty bomby card for limited. Definitely. Alright, so let's move on to red. And this is going to be it for today. So after we review the red color, I'm going to open another collector booster of Final Fantasy. And it's going to be it for today, but okay, there is hope. Bunch of red cards ahead, but this is the plan. Bombard, 3 mana instant, it deals 4 damage to target creature. Why Pyroclasm? I mean, yeah, sure, it's your red removal, it's good. Cut Propulsion, for 3 mana instant target creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. If that creature has flying, it deals twice that much damage to itself instead. This is very complicated wording for removal, no? Pretty cool. On the black card, this card. Yeah, sorry. Next up, Debris Field Crusher for 5 mana spacecraft. When it enters, it deals 3 damage to any target. Alright. And if it has 8 or more counters, it becomes a creature 1/5 with flying. For 2 mana, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Yeah, like you look at it, 5 mana. So in black, we've seen like Edict effect. Here we have like 3 damage and a target. I think it's good. You know, we have to see, we have to play to like really get the gist of it. But honestly, I think it's good. I always rate a little bit higher any anything that says damage to any target. Because you can finish off your opponent with that. But yeah, like, I don't know. Probably okay, I agree. Have to see. Next out, Devastating Onslaught, double X and red sorcery. It's a mythic. Create X tokens that are copies of target artifact or creature you control. Those tokens gain haste until end of turn. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Wow. This is a very situational card. Oh my god. Like, honestly, a lot can go wrong with this card, and speaking of artifacts, however, they do have this ETBs. This may be like pretty solid. Yeah, this may be crazy good. Yeah, even though it is situational, of course, it is pretty bomby, no? Like, the more that I look at it, the more like scenarios are coming to my mind. Yeah, honestly, yeah. Like, and of course, it is your late game plan. Yeah, exactly. Good point. Oh, Machine La Machine, hello, thank you so much for your follow, for your raid. I'm already a little bit cooked here after reading all the cards, but thank you so much. Appreciate your raid. So, hello raiders, welcome. I'm Maria. Usually I stream like anything competitive on Magic Arena and Magic Online, but today we are reviewing Edge of Eternities new set of Magic the Gathering, and I'm giving my true and honest first impressions because I haven't looked at the cards beforehand, so I'm just reading every single card and then we discuss them. Thank you so much again. Yes, so we're at red now. So drill too deep. For 2 mana instant, choose one. Put 5 charge counters on target spacecraft or planet you control, or destroy target artifact. Sideboard. Yeah, I agree. I think it is a straight up sideboard card. So next up, Frontline War Rager for 3 mana, creature 2/3 at the beginning of your end step. If you control 2 or more tapped creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Okay, so just a reminder, Boris is our like spacecraft, right? Yeah, spacecraft synergy. What do you think? Is it too slow or is it okay though? Like, first you look at it, and also let's just consider that like every single card, it has to belong to a certain archetype, because like on its own, it's what is that, right? But let's just imagine that you build this specific Boris spacecraft archetype that you need to tap your creatures, then you get value not only for your starships, where they like spacecraft, but also here you put a counter. I don't know. Maybe okay, but at the same time you need to have 2 or more tapped creatures, so 1 is not enough and not good enough. I guess it's a filler now, even in this archetype. Or no, it has these vibes. Yeah, maybe. Maybe you can just, I mean, you of course can trigger it naturally just by attacking. So you attack with your 2-drop, you attack with this one, you put a counter on it. But again, kind of slow, no? I don't know, is it good enough? Next up, full board for 1 red mana instant. Target creature you control gets +3/+2 until end of turn. If that creature was cast for its warp cost, it also gets trample and haste until end of turn. Monster's Rage. Honestly, my thoughts exactly. I was like, is it Monster's Rage? Honestly, this may be pretty neat, and I think Ragdos, like this warp, void, synergy. So we're just like, imagine that creature. What was it? Was it like 5/4 or 4/5 with warp? Imagine with warp 2. So this is your turn 3, right? Oh, this may be very like aggressive. I don't know. Just a lot of, you know, a lot of like small things that can come together. Oh, Ragdos may be like pretty aggro too. Like if we build it in this direction. Interesting. But even if we do not like trigger this, if we do not care about the second warrior second ability, it's just for 1 mana +3/+2, which is also pretty neat, which is okay for a combat trick, sure. Church counters chess and spacecraft. Yeah, I guess it's gonna matter for constructed, right? But to be fair, have we seen a decent spacecraft for constructed so far? I don't remember. Like all of them. Like it feels like pretty much the same thing as it was with battles, no? I mean, some of the battles, they of course were played and constructed, but I don't know. Yeah, we shall see. Anyway, we're talking about limited today. Galvanizing Starship for 6 mana artifact spacecraft. No ETBs, just for 6 mana. But see, like you only need to put 3 charge counters on it, and it becomes a creature 6/5 with flying and haste. This can be pretty aggressive though, right? Flying haste. Next up, Invasive Manures. For 2 mana instant, it deals 3 damage to target creature, and it deals 5 damage instead if you control a spacecraft. Nice. Like both ways. I'll take it. Next up, have Landseeker for 4 mana. Creature 4/3 with menace. When it enters, create a lender token at the beginning of the end step. On your next turn, sacrifice that token. Okay, now I think like we're moving on to this Gruul territory, landfall. But honestly, this is great. I love this creature. So the fact that like this ETB is so good. Love it. Next up, Cavern Harrier for 1 mana artifact creature 2/1. Whenever this creature attacks, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token that's tapped and attacking. Sacrifice that token at the end of combat. Oh, this is super aggressive. This is super aggressive. It's cheap artifact. Like, honestly, like, this ability is nice. Maybe it's gonna matter more like mid-game when you can get maybe some additional value from sacrificing this robot artifacts and whatnot, but let's say like I don't mind trading my 1 drop for like 2 or 3 drop. Just as Caveron, Skywarden, 5 mana, 4/5 reach. It has Void, so for Void, we put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Like, not great, not terrible, right? No, that's the thing. Like, if I cast it on my turn 1, I don't mind just trading it off. But then, later in the game, if it survived somehow, then yeah, you can get this value. But also, you know, there are situations when, I don't know, you have this, but you do not have your 2 drop. Just yet about attack for 4. Depends on the situation. So yeah, this it's more like a filler, not great, not terrible. Next up, Caveron, Turbo Drone for 3 mana, artifact creature, 2/3. It has an activated ability for tap. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains haste until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, so you may just use this ability, you tap it. So if we come back to like other synergies that require like maybe more than 1 tap creature. Okay. Also, this may be scary, but if we come back to previous sets where there were these 2 drops that give haste to a creature, they were playable. I don't know, they were playable, they were even good only in Kaldheim, as far as I remember. So this effect, I don't know. Like the fact that it gives counters, yes, but at the same time it's a 3 drop, not a 2 drop. Flavor, safe, but the whole planet is falling apart without it. Yeah. Mood. Yeah, you see, like, it's really hard to evaluate. Some of you say that it's junk, some say that it's maybe okay. Yeah, like, I'm just thinking, where do I want to play, like, really? And I don't know. Just 3 mana, 2/3, not aggressive enough. This effect, again, it looks promising, but in fact, it rarely is good. Maybe with warp, yeah, actually, maybe with warp. Maybe with warp you can like sort of combo it, yeah. Okay, let's leave it to Ragdos then, right? Next up, Letha Break-In for 3 mana. We have instant, create a lender token, then you may sacrifice an artifact. When you do, Letha Break-In deals 2 damage to each creature. Pretty neat, no? Like, again, this card, I feel like it combines, like, it can fit several archetypes is what I mean. Like, Ragdos and Fool. That's it. Is it too, actually, because is it is called Artifact Aggro. This is a weird power class. But it's an instant speed power class at the same time. Also, like, if you do not care about this landfall, here, like, you have your token, you sacrifice it. Like, this card, it doesn't require any additional work, which is great, and I like that it is instant. Yeah. Melded Moxide for 2 mana artifact. When this artifact enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. Okay, so this is your Thrill of Possibility in a permanent. And for 3 mana, sacrifice this artifact, create a tapped 2/2 colorless Whirlwood artifact creature token. Guess it's fine. If you care about this artifact count, artifact fall, whatever you want to call it, expandable artifact later. Yeah, it is playable. I think it is. Yeah, it is a fine utility card. Just to, you know, putting together some of the like cards like this, they're like building blocks for your archetype. Next up is Memorial Team Leader for 4 mana. You have a creature 4/3 plus warp. During your turn, other creatures you control get +1/+0. Okay, and yeah, you can play it for 2 for warp. I mean, sure, why not? I guess Ragdus again. Ragdus. This card is specifically for that archetype. Next up, Memorial Bolt, 4 mana. It's a rare artifact. Tap, sacrifice another artifact, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is 1 plus the mana value of the sacrifice artifact. You may play those cards this turn. Ooh. This is not a limited card, no? Hmm? Sacrifice another artifact, exile the top X cards of your library, where X... Huh, no, hold on. I was thinking that, I'm sorry, I'm already not thinking straight. No, actually, yeah. No, it's okay. This is your sacrifice, enabler. Maybe you have other synergies on that, but just as it is just your straight up value, right? The only problem with cards like this is that you cannot utilize your tokens because it just doesn't work. Man, it's rare. Would you first pick it? To be fair, I probably wouldn't, because yeah, card advantage is great, but it requires a lot of work to put together a deck like this. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong though. Oh, you're right. +1. Or X is 1 plus, yeah, the mana value. No, you are correct, actually. Huh. Okay, this is better then. It's better than I thought. Right. Like the black one, worth a try. Honestly, I like the spirit. Like, let's go. We see it. We just try to build around, because this set, honestly, it looks like it's going to be a synergy trip, and how well we can build around all of this. That's true, that's true. It's an instant speed sacrifice effect. That's true. Same time, you may play this card this turn. Would you really want to do that? But yeah, anyway. Okay, so this is another controversial for limited in terms of like first picking it, really, right? Not so obvious, I would say, and also like, yeah, a lot of things have to be taken into consideration. Like, what else is there in the pack? How easy it is to like put together this specific archetype, how powerful it is, and yeah, so far, like now it is impossible to predict that. Next up, molecular modifier for 3 mana. 2/2 creature at the beginning of combat. On your turn, target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. I mean, target creature, so you may even give the comp and give first strike to this creature. Don't have to give it to another creature, which like makes it slightly better, right? I guess it's okay. So like the ability is pretty aggro. Don't really like it that it's a 3 mana 2/2, but I guess it's okay. Maybe it was made on purpose. Just like all of the hints indicate that the format is going to be slow. Maybe. Say useless, it's like combat prof sort of a deal. Nah, it's like, yeah, not great, not terrible. I would say it just again depends on your deck, but yeah, not great, I think. Yeah, we shall see. Shall see, because like does more in this set. Like they're very different, just not only based on vibes, but based on synergy. I feel like this is more synergistic set than Duskmorn, but again, we haven't played it yet. We shall see. Nebula Dragon, 7 mana, 4/4 flying. When this creature enters, it deals 3 damage to any target. Excuse me, how much mana? 7 mana for a 4/4 flyer. Probably not. Probably pass. Next up, Nova Hellkite, 5 mana, 4/5. It's a rare. Okay, already. Like, now you're talking, right? 4/5, 4/5, and it has warp. Like, what else do you need? Blind Haste. When this creature enters, it deals 1 damage to target creature and opponent controls. Okay, this is like solid first pick, like no hesitations. It's going to be good, literally, in any red deck. Yeah, perfect. I mean, of course, you cannot compare like common and the rare, but yeah, this is great. This is easy. Next up, Orbital Plunge. 4 mana sorcery. It deals 6 damage to target creature. If excess damage was dealt this way, create a lender token. Sure. Yeah. I'll take it. It's fine. And I like this ability too with excess damage. Lender tokens are going to be great. Or plays Pangolin for 2 mana 2/2. Whenever another artifact you control enters, you may pay 1, and if you do, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Robot Pangolin. This is so cute. That's a good to drop. It's an artifact which is going to matter in Izzet. And yeah, I guess it is specifically made for that, just based on this ability, but all in all, it may be just your basic to drop in any red deck, really. This is going to be particularly good in Izzet. Yeah. Next up, Pain for All, 3 mana. It's a rare. Pain for All. Mood. Enchant creature you control. When this aura enters, enchanted creature deals damage equal to its power to any other target. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to each opponent. Okay, as with any auras, You have to pick your moment, and usually I try to avoid playing auras as much as I can, like specifically with auras that you need to enchant your own creature, because oh my god, it may end up so badly. But if you pick your moment, if your opponent is tapped out, then I guess yes. What do you think? What do you think? Pain for all, honestly. Oh man. I don't know if I would first pick it though, just because it's an aura. Not first picking it. Love this. I would not first pick it, but I agree to all these games. Honestly, I can feel that. Next up, Plasma Bolt for 1 mana sorcery. It deals 2 damage to any target. It has Void. So instead it deals 3 damage. Yeah, if you're able to trigger Void. Sure. Honestly, damage to any target. Those magical words, any target, and I'm sold. It's good. Possibility Technician, 3 mana. It's a rare 3/3. Whenever this creature or another Kavoo you control enters, exile the top card of your library. For as long as this card remains exiled, you may play it if you control a Kavoo. Oh, how many Kavoos are there, huh? That's a rare. I like what it does. I don't like that it's a rare. That's my problem with that. So, you don't want to cast it on your turn 2, do you? Like, max on your turn 3, so at least you get a land drop from the exile. I don't know. All in all, it's a good card, but for a rare, I guess it is underwhelming. That's where I stand with that. True, true. I agree. It's a good card, but just, you know, again, if it was uncommon, it would be great. But it's a rare. Next up, Red Tiger Mechan for 4 mana artifact creature 3/3 with haste and warp. Let's go. Like, honestly, simple, efficient, aggressive. I like it. So, is it artifacts? Ragdos. Let's go. Always want the robot cat. Yeah. And yeah, smashing, like, look at that cat. Next up, a Remnant Elemental for 2 mana creature 0/4 with reach. It has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, this creature gets +2/+0 until end turn. I mean, with this lander tokens, you may now trigger it on your opponent's turn, which is something, right? I don't know. It looks just too defensive for Gruul, no? At the same time, I guess okay. I don't know. Or not. 0/4. Rig for war. I know, right? And now that I'm thinking, maybe Gruul is not going to be as aggressive. Like, where it's gonna fit? Like, is an aggro archetype? Ragdos, I would assume like more of like an aggro / mid-range. Gruul, I would assume should be an aggro archetype, but because landfall triggers usually on your turn. Now that with those lander tokens, you might trigger it on your opponents, but still, I don't know. It's just, yeah, like, where does it fit? For now, I don't know. Rig for War, 2 mana instant. Target creature gets +3/+0 and gains first strike and reach until end of turn. Grixis control. Nah, I don't know. I personally, I don't like this sort of combo tricks at all. But yeah, if you really need a combo trick, if you're building an aggro deck, then maybe, but honestly, I don't know. I'm not a fan. Next up, a roving actuator for 4 mana, 3/4 artifact creature with void. So what do we get for void? Exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard. Copy it. You may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. Sounds good. Sounds very tempting. How actually feasible it is. Maybe is it? Because it's an artifact first and foremost. I would assume that in these colors you would have naturally more sorcerers and instants than any other archetype. Grixis control. Love it. Maybe Grixis control. To be fair, probably yes, somewhere in this realm, right? Because void in Izzet, I don't know. Same time, we've seen some pretty decent, pretty aggro cards in red with warp, so why not? Maybe Ragdas, because we need to trigger that void, you know, and we have all this warp and void in these colors. Yeah. Ruinous Rampage for 3 mana. Sorcery, choose 1. It deals 3 damage to each opponent, or exile or artifacts with mana value 3 or less. Okay, it's not quite as universal as Brotherhood's End, but this is definitely going to be an alternative for it post rotation. But for limited, it is a straight up type card. But honestly, like in constructing, in probably same. Rust Harvester for 1 mana. It's a rare artifact creature 1/1 with menace, and activate ability for 2 and tap. Exile an artifact card from your graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Then it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Let's go. Kill Synthesizer deck again. Yes. I know, right? Like, and still, a Synthesizer still costs like a lot. I like it. For a rare, it is again maybe underwhelming, but it is cheap. It requires some work. And it is slow. First pick. But to be serious, I'm not sure if I would first pick it, but it can be good. It's pretty solid. You can have synergy in Izzet, in Ragdas. Where else? That's it, I guess. But yeah. Next up, Slag Drill Scrapper for 1 mana. We have artifact 1/2 for 2 and tap. Sacrifice another artifact or land. Draw a card. So this looks like another cheap utility card for your deck. Like if you need to have this artifact count, artifact haul, whatever. It is a sacrifice outlet. Again, to trigger the void, maybe. I think, you know what? Maybe useful in Ragnas, and is it for sure? Except systems override. No. Yeah. 3 mana sorcery, gain control of target artifact or creature until end of turn, and tap that permanent. It gains haste until end of turn. If it's a spacecraft, put 10 charge counters on it. If you do, remove 10 charge counters from it at the beginning of the next end. Okay, the Sour Threaten with the twists, specifically made for this set, of course. And honestly, I like threatens, especially if there is like a solid sacrifice archetype in the format. I think there is. Tanuk, Steadfast second. It's a mythic. It's a Kabu. Here comes Kabu, but it's a mythic. So that Kabu was a rare and not mythic. Like, my joke to you, Kabus. Anyway, 4 mana, 3/5. Other creatures you control have haste. Artifact cards and red creature cards in your hand have warp 3. Let's go. Just realized void triggers if any non-land permanent, not just your permanent. Yeah, that's true, but of course, what you control is what's going on on your turn, more or less, right? You can at least be in control of that. But yeah, of course, it may just like void may trigger just naturally from combat, or I don't know. Yeah, even your opponents. Permanence, sure. No, this is great. First pick, this is quite easy, honestly. It's just easy. This is an easy bomb. Does the warp go away when it dies? Oh, that's a good question. And imagine, so all of those cards, they just remain in exile. That's a good question. That's a good question to ask your judge and the Pearlies. Okay. Does it really? Does it really like this? Okay. Anyway, good. Great. Take it. Play it. Next up, Terminal Velocity, 6 mana, sorcery. Another rare, by the way. You may put an artifact or creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That permanent gains haste, and when this permanent leaves the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its mana value to each creature. And, as if it wasn't enough, at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this permanent. All things come to an end eventually. I don't, yeah, like, honestly, for limited, I don't like it. Like, for 6 mana, I can pretty much cast anything that's going on in my hand. Or at least I should. But imagine if you, like, draw this one, you do not have anything really in your hand. Like, imagine if you're, like, on top decks, you draw on this, and it is literally like an empty top deck. No, this is no. Parapact Intimidator for 2 mana, 2/1. Oh, here comes Kabu, by the way. But yeah, now I'm more conscious about this creature type. So when it enters, target opponent may have you create 2 lander tokens. If they don't, put 2+1/+1 counters on this creature. Nice. Not bad, honestly. Like, either way, you're good. Oh, wow. This is pretty, yeah. Pretty insane for it to drop. I love this ability. Yeah, very good to drop. Next up, Territorial Bruntar. For 6 mana, 6/6 creature reach with landfall. So for landfall, what do we have? What do we get? We exile cards from the top of our library until we exile a non-land card, and we may cast this turn. Okay, so this may not survive until you get the value from that landfall, because when you tap out. Also, this landfall, do I call them, I don't know, landfall enablers, landfall payoffs. This is the word, landfall payoffs for 5 or 6 mana. Like, ideally, you don't want to do any land drops after your turn 6, no? Like, on average. I agree, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Next up, Volgar Trooper, 5 mana, 5/5 at the beginning of your end step. If you control 2 or more tapped creatures, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. Not great, not terrible, may work sometime. I think it's good. I mean, 5/5 for 5. Oh, by the way, it's also Kabu. I guess it's okay as, again, like a top end for your aggro deck. Like Boris, maybe. Go try deck, exactly. Warmaker Gunship for 3 mana. It's an artifact, spacecraft. When it enters, it deals damage equal to the number of artifacts you control to target creature and opponent controls. And if it has 6 or more counters on it, it becomes a creature 4/3 with flying. Nice. Honestly, finally, not an overcosted spacecraft. For a rare, I think it is a well-rounded spacecraft. The thing is that you still would probably want to cast, like, not on your turn 3, but later. Still good. Yeah, it's an artifact, it's like removal, and later on it's a creature. It's good. Next up, Weapons Manufacturing for 2 mana, enchantment, another rare. Whenever a non-token artifact you control enters, create a colorless artifact token named Munitions with, when this token leaves the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. Okay, here it comes, like, your sacrifice archetype, no? This might be insane, I agree. Like, honestly, the building cost is there. It is certainly built around. But, I like it. Here comes your sacrifice archetype. Just imagine you're creating all of those tokens. They are artifacts. And then if you have... you just need... yeah, here your sacrifice payoff. You just need an enabler. Perfect. Yeah. We have Stalker Ardent for 3 mana. We have a creature 2/3. Whenever another artifact or another creature or artifact you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. It has warp 1. I don't know how I feel about it. So, on one hand, like, it's a cheap warp. At the same time, like, is it impactful enough? I don't know. This looks a little bit weak to me. Cheap warp. Exactly. Honestly, if you really need it, if you care about that, then yeah. Other than that, yeah, maybe like a 23rd card, something like that. Yeah, maybe. I agree. Just if you're like need that glue, right? Maybe it can work like that. Zookeeper Mechan for 2 mana, artifact creature rulebook 1/3. For tap, add 1 red mana, and for 7 mana, target creature you control gets +4/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Like, it's an artifact. Sure to drop with fine stats. It's a mana dork. I like it. What's not to like? Right? John. No, I think it's okay. Why? Like, it's your mana dork essentially. Probably like you don't care about this ability too much, but just as is, it's a 2 mana creature. Cool flavor text. Yeah. All right, so here it is. So next up is green, and this is going to be part 2. I'm going to go live tomorrow, of course, with it. And it's a wrap for today. As I said, here I have another booster of Final Fantasy Collector Booster. Let's open it. And hopefully it's going to be a good pull. I'm sorry I do not have like a special like camera equipment for opening packs, but let's start with the bottom. So what is it? What is it? What is it? Sorry. It's item shopkeeper. Meh. What's that? It's a frog. Gigantitoad. Next up, and I apologize because of the green screen, of course. Cards, you may not be seeing them correctly. This is Paladin's Arms, so just not exciting, just your foils. What's up next? I cannot see it yet. What's that? Aha. Okay. Ambrosia White Heart. Okay. It is playable. Next up, what's there? What's there? Oh, hey. Great and limited. This. Not even unlimited, no. What's there? Next up. What's that? Who are you? Snow Villiers. Yeah. Next up. What are you? It's a green card, isn't it? I can already see it. Oh, it's Summon Fenrir. Okay, listen, another card for standard. Nice. Alternative art. What's next? Forest. I'm surprised that you can see it correctly. Alright, next this Cypher Almasi. Okay. It's not even alternative. Yeah, it's just well. Oh my god, it's getting hot. What's next? What's next? Better be good. Oh, the Wandering Minstrel. Damn. This one. Okay. Very good. What is this? What is this? How should I put it? Like, oh, Ralbon Bull of Alamigo. Honestly. Next up. There's something. Go-Go Master of Mimicry. No. Oh, this pools are not great. What do we have here? What do we have here? Who are you? Counterspell. Ooh. I like this counterspell. Okay, this is something. This is something. I'll say I would play myself this counterspell. This looks pretty cool. And last card. Haven't looked at it. What is it? What is it? Triple Triad. Okay. I know, right? I mean, I still have some left in here, so we're going to crack some packs tomorrow as well, and maybe I will open something better than this. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you had fun. I certainly did, and hope to see you tomorrow for part 2. So, just a gentle reminder, if you're not following me already, please hit that button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, I put all of my content related updates on Twitter/X at @cpgirl_, and I'm sure we're going to upload this VOD on my YouTube channel at Mr. and Mrs. Pike. So let's raid somebody and hope to see you tomorrow. All right, let's go. See ya. Bye bye.